Let's lock in, boys. We got this.
Guys, I really don't want to mess my hair up. I don't think we should do this. And these polos are too nice. We can't do it. No, we're not.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
I paid a lot for these tickets. Straight lock. Straight lock.
Oh. Nice. And the Red All Sports Network starts right now. Hello everybody and welcome to the glorious Sprague Field for Red All Sports Network's coverage of the women's and men's lacrosse doubleheader. My name is Thomas Gaffney Jr. alongside CJ Staniak, the Maniac. How are you doing, buddy?
Well, probably better than you after what I just saw in net, Thomas. I mean, what a disgrace. You wear the green 2-6 and you decide to disrespect that jersey like that. You know, at least the professors got to shake off the rust, and I know you're hiding some of those bruises under that suit, but I've got to say, you look dapper, my friend.
Thank you so much, CJ. You're looking great as well. I am hiding a couple bruises. Got one right on my chest here. But hey, they knocked the rust off, you like to say. They got a couple past me between the sticks. But honestly, I think they did a better job than you guys. They got a couple more past me than the interns did.
Well, I mean, if you guys have anything in common, I'm sure you're both sore, professors and you as well. But today, for now, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to let the athletes take center stage.
Yeah, the lacrosse teams were battling out for the first couple parts of the season. But they got some great news last week where both the men's and women's lacrosse programs would be reinstated and resume in 2026. Tim Burgess has a timeline of events that occurred the past couple of months.
On December 13th, 2024, Montclair State University delivered shocking news. Both the men's and women's lacrosse teams would be downgraded from NCAA programs to club sports at the end of the spring 2025 season. For players, alumni, and fans, this wasn't just a setback, it was a call to action. That same day, a petition was created, requesting the university reverse its decision. The lacrosse community wasn't ready to let their program disappear without a fight. 1 month later, a group of alumni, including the petition's founder, Houston Weber, and 2 New Jersey Lacrosse Hall of Famers, met with Montclair State's president and athletic director. Their message was clear: Montclair lacrosse is worth fighting for. By February, the movement had grown beyond anyone's expectations. More than 16,000 supporters had signed the petition, proving that Montclair State lacrosse had a community behind it. Many expected a vote at the next Board of Trustees meeting, but instead, the board chose to delay the decision. However, they agreed to meet with the reinstate team the following week to discuss a possible resolution. With the program's future still uncertain, on February 18th, supporters took matters into their own hands, launching a GoFundMe campaign to help sustain the teams. By March 26th, the fundraiser had exceeded $24,000. The message was clear: Montclair State lacrosse mattered to more than just the players and coaches. It was a part of the university's identity. Then, on March 28th, the announcement came. Thanks to the relentless efforts of alumni, donors, student athletes, families, and the global lacrosse community, Montclair State lacrosse would remain an NCAA program.
As we just saw, it's been a crazy couple of months. But from people from outside, we only can see parts of the information from the inside. We recently went to practice to speak to players and coaches about the reinstatement of lacrosse here at Montclair State University.
Oh, it was weight off of our shoulder being told that we were being reinstated. It's been a rough few months, but I have to give a lot of credit to this team. They continue to fight, they continue to work, and we continue to play as if this would be the result. So I'm very proud of them.
You know, it was great news for our guys, and, you know, that's what I really cared about. You know, we tried to surprise them as best we could. I think they had some inklings of the vibes that we've been getting.
Our coach texted us in our group chat about 2 hours before we had to come to school for the games. We had a game that night, and he said, we want to get you guys in earlier to watch film. And right away in my head, I kind of clicked that we were getting told something good. because we watched all the film we could already, so we knew something was happening. So we walked in, then we saw the group of people there. It was us and the girls' team, and then we just kind of knew right away. And then when the words came out of our coach Poske's mouth, there was a lot of excitement from everyone in the room.
I get to play an alumni game. That's what I was really happy about. I get to come back and do something versus, having a club team. So it's a good feeling.
I didn't really know what was going on at first because we had been in this kind of battle for so long trying to get the program reinstated, and I almost didn't believe it, but after seeing the post from Montclair Redhawks on Instagram, that was when I knew it was official and that the work that everybody had put into, no matter how big or small, had come out to this great outcome, and now the program is here to stay.
Initially, a shell shock, but also we've had a lot of gratitude going into this year in the first place, so taking advantage every day of being here and with each other has been a privilege and something that we can't necessarily put into words. So finding out the news yesterday, it just makes you feel so loved and so appreciated and heard by the university, the other student athletes that supported us to get here, and everything that our captains and our men's team and our faculty have put in to get us here.
Yeah, it was a long fight. For a while it seemed like it was just silent for like the past month before last week. We had some good news and then everything kind of went silent for a while, so I was kind of scared a little bit. But then just coming in last week and hearing that we're back, it was really exciting.
I think it's always important to keep things positive. And I think with negative news coming our direction in December, it made it difficult to keep it positive. But no, I think coaching standards have to remain the same. If we want to be successful, we have to put in the work and continue to go and do the extra.
I'm proud of the guys. They've hung on there for a while. They've done the right thing, and that's the most important thing I asked. And, it's rewarding for them, most importantly.
I always remember where we first were when the news initially drops, especially the reaction from the players. The action they took in the first couple of weeks was extraordinary. They started a petition that raised over 30,000 signatures. They started a GoFundMe that raised over $20,000, and they had the support from all of us from the beginning. And look at where they at now.
I think we all remember that morning when the news released. We were on our way to New York City for the Heisman ceremony, and as someone around the media, happened to be near the Montclairian sports editor, our very own Ryan Nussbaum. You hear him on play-by-play today, but Ryan's phone was actually broken, so he was a little bit stressed out trying to coordinate things and trying to get it for everybody. Anybody who had a working phone was underneath Penn Station with no service whatsoever, so definitely a pretty shocking moment. I think it came out of nowhere for all of us. We were stunned. But as far as, bringing it back, you're absolutely right, Thomas. What a great community that's been built here. I think you've seen a lot of support from alumni, from families, from friends, from fellow athletes as well. And they really have shown that this community and this sport, they intertwine with one another. Lacrosse means a ton to North Jersey, and they've proven it.
And then talking about Ryan Nussbaum, I think he had the worst part of it because he was also at the NCAA tournament that morning when the news did drop. And we were in right before we were about to go on call for the lacrosse broadcast. That news dropped, and the players recently just found out 2 hours before we did. So they went out there, they played their hearts out against Widener University and got the win. So it was a great collective kind of win for the Montclair State team, and now they're going to use that for momentum throughout the season.
And for the women's team, more reasons to celebrate for them than just the reinstatement of the program. Recently able to celebrate their head coach's 200th career victory, able to stamp that number 200 right there. March 10th versus UMass Dartmouth, and for Coach Parsaluzzi, a legend. She continues to add on to the program record for career wins, but she was joined by another legend as far as coaching here at Montclair State. That's right, Coach Karen Harvey of the women's basketball team, her 200th NJAC victory with a semifinal win over William Patterson in the NJAC tournament. I'm sure she was focused on more important things than just that, but still a huge honor for her in her 18th season. Coach Parsaluzzi in her 20th. They've been staples here at Montclair State in the last few decades. That is not all, though, for the Milestones. I'm calling this Milestone March because look down the list here with athletes. First you got players that are going to be playing today. Jack Cleary in just a little bit, 100 career points. Did that in a 9-point performance versus Drew. You're also going to see Joey Grotkoff, 300 career saves, a preseason All-American, and she continues to have a phenomenal season. And then the softball as well. Liz Mullen, 100 career hits, achieved that on March 30th. In a doubleheader against St. Elizabeth, and she's hitting 450 this season, so she continues that. We may see her at 200 soon. Sage Rizzi as well. Her teammate, 100 career strikeouts, the senior finally getting to that mark. It's been a very special time for her and just a very special March for the athletics department.
Wow, a lot of milestones coming from our Redhawks and a lot to look forward to for the rest of the season. Now we're going to switch over to kind of this matchup. We're going against number 11th ranked TCNJ, who beat this women's lacrosse team 20-0 in the NJAC playoffs last time. But we went to practice this past week to get the women's lacrosse team's insights on today's upcoming matchup.
As a senior, everything as a whole in athletics has been growing over the last few years for the better. I'm excited, especially for our game and to be spotlighted. We deserve it. Both men's and women's definitely deserve to get some love.
I think there's always pressure. I think it's always, we want to see where you rank. And anytime you can play a top 20 team, which TCNJ is top 10 at the moment, I believe, anytime you get that opportunity, you want to showcase what you guys can bring to the table, and that's what we're looking forward to do.
We've had toss-ups in the past with Kane, where we don't necessarily know what the outcome's going to be, just because every team is different every year. We are not the same team that we were 2 years ago, even last year. So every year for every team is just a little bit of something different.
I think I'm most looking forward to Rowan as well. They always bring out, they always bring out the best in us, and we bring out the best in them, and that's all we can ask for in a competitive collegiate team.
Anytime you play TCNJ, you have to try to eliminate your mistakes. So our plan is to eliminate any turnovers and just continue to fight for every 50-50 ball we can, and hopefully, we come out on top.
We're going to stick to our game plan, and that is simply play hard, play for each other, and play for the bigger picture, and that is to finish what we started.
Heading into TCNJ, we just want to take everything that we've been doing in the fall and in the spring, putting it together, and just giving not even 100%, 110% of every single thing that we have from every single person, and that's kind of been what we've been preaching the entire season.
Listen, pressure is a privilege. I think for all athletes growing up in these circumstances, you want to put yourself and you want to put your teammates first in everything that you do, so it just gives you more of a reason to fight hard and show up every day.
Today we have the first little bit of NJAC play as they play TCNJ, but after that you have a non-conference matchup against Muhlenberg and then 4 straight NJAC matchups to round out the season. Only 4 teams make it to the postseason, so you have to make every game count down the stretch. They have Ramapo at home, Stockton, then Rowan at home as well, and then versus Kane. Thankfully they play at home today against the reigning champs and play Rowan, who was in the final with TCNJ last year at home as well.
The women's lacrosse program has faced a ton of adversity this season, but for one player in particular, adversity has become second nature. Junior attack Jade Gorman, a type 1 diabetic. And despite her diagnosis, Gorman continues to grow as a player and as a person. Here is her story.
I told her my symptoms of drinking a lot of water, peeing all the time, losing weight, and not sleeping and getting really fatigued and out of breath. And so she pricked my finger, and I remember looking over and it said 450. And I knew nothing about diabetes. And I was like, oh, 1,000's bad, 0's bad, 500's probably perfect, and I'm a little low. I had no idea. They then told me I had been diabetic for 3 months without me knowing.
Yeah, that's when life changed. I stayed with her for the 5 days. I don't think I ever left.
Yep.
It was difficult. I let them do everything initially because I didn't know anything and tried to learn as much as I could. And all of a sudden one day it hit me like, wait, I have to figure out how to do all of this myself, when we leave the hospital. So it was a huge learning curve.
I've never been a sick kid. And so I always assumed you go into a hospital sick and you leave better. but I was leaving with a whole new life. I found Friends for Life, which is a conference organized by children with diabetes. Every 4th of July, I am in Disney, Coronado Springs, where I volunteer with the Sports Central team, teaching kids that they can play sports with this and it's not going to stop them. They also bring in professional athletes, which is really cool. I've met Mark Andrews, Blake and Reed Ferguson. I've met Chad Muma, Ryan Reed, like really cool people who have made it so far with this illness. So I found a lot of support through them. Having a sport, it's like these 2 hours are dedicated to lacrosse. And no matter what I do, I'm gonna be there. And it gets me out of my head. Like I'm not constantly thinking about what's next or whatever. I'm solely focused on getting better as a person and an athlete and an individual, as a teammate, everything.
We got a cutter from behind. Wow, there is Jade Gorman, who cut from behind the goal, came up for that attempt.
And it's also a social aspect where like we can just talk when we're on the sideline, and wall ball is something that's super important to me. It's just passing back and forth to yourself for hand-eye coordination, but I like to count the numbers. So I'll do like 100 on my right hand, 100 on my left hand. And it's again, like I'm not focused on anything else except numbers. And there, it's just 1, 2. And it's something that really like refocuses me. It says built, not born. I like live by that. I've said since 5th grade, so before I was diagnosed. But it means to me that like nothing's handed to you. You have to work for everything you want.
My dream has never changed for Jade. Right. Like it would be for any parent, I would think, say for their child, do anything that makes them happy.
Right.
Happy and healthy.
A very powerful story there for Jade Gorman, and well done from our production intern, Ryan Tulio, also a type 1 diabetic. This is a story that hits home for him as well. So terrific work, Ryan, and terrific work from Jade as well. A very inspiring story as she continues to power through her deficiency.
Yeah, I have a couple of type 1 diabetics in my family, but it's great to see that Jade persevered early on in her career and went out there and is now on a college lacrosse field.
Well, certainly we're excited for this women's lacrosse matchup versus TCNJ later this afternoon. That is set for 2 p.m. right here on the Red Hawk Sports Network. But first, a Coastal Lacrosse Conference matchup with Mary Washington. Just the second of 5 conference games this season for either team. The Red Hawks dropped their first in a tough loss to Christopher Newport last weekend, though. The Eagles, a 23-goal showing. They took down Stockton back in Virginia. The short conference slate makes every game important here in the CLC. Montclair State going to need to quickly turn that ship around and get a victory against a talented team that's won 4 straight. No doubt the Red Hawks are ready for the test. We spoke to the team this week as they prepared for today's crucial outing.
You know, this is our first time. We've probably in the last 4 weeks have had a midweek game and then a weekend game. So this is our first time. We went, Saturday and had another Saturday game. So we're letting them breathe a little bit, letting them get the kinks out, and refocusing and fixing some things that we've been meaning to fix. We just really haven't had the time because it's always focused on the next game. It's nice to be back out here and heading into conference play. And it's a big one Saturday. Our guys know that, and I think we'll be ready.
Absolutely, get to play Mary Washington too. Last year we went down there, didn't play that good against them, but this year, get to play them again, which is very good for us.
You guys out here, whether it's film and practice or camera around, our guys have a little pop in their step, and I think they acknowledge that, it's a little bigger of a game. Obviously, the conference play, hopefully the sun's out, and they see multiple cameras. They, if that helps us play better, I'll take it. So we're excited for Saturday.
It's great to see that the team is clearly focused, but the helmet on in the interview by Jack Cleary, how do we feel about that?
Yeah, I'm not so sure what was going on with the situation there. No one knew who I was till I put on the mask. That's what they say. Jack Cleary, very own quote right there.
Oscar Posket is saying that the cameras are going to make them play better. I can't wait to see it. If we're going to help them play better and get a win here today, it's going to be great.
Whatever we can do, I'd love to help.
But clearly the team is focused today. But let's take a peek at what the rest of the season entails for these Red Hawks moving forward. They just had the week off, and they'll be getting another one following this afternoon. Plenty of time to rest before the end of the season. Short travel as well. Only 3 out of the 4 games are at home for Montclair State. They'll host Stockton next weekend before a short turnaround just down the road versus Kane. Finally, the regular season finale takes place at Sprague Field with the Red Hawks taking on the currently undefeated Salisbury Seagulls. Beyond that point, will all depend on if Montclair State can top-notch a top 4 seed in the conference and earn a bid in the CLC tournament.
Well, oftentimes players will refer to their teammates as brothers, but for Sebastian and Gianni Graziano, this applies on a different level. The Red Hawks siblings are sharing the field for the final time this season, with Sebastian being a senior for the lacrosse team. Our very own Luke Sirianni sat down with the brothers to learn more about their bond.
We're here at Sprague Field with our 2 Montclair State men's lacrosse players, actually brothers on this team. First of all, sophomore Gianni Graziano and senior Sebastian Graziano. I'll start off with you, Sebastian, the older brother in your senior year. Tell me about your childhood and how you got into sports. What was it like between you two?
I started playing lacrosse first in first grade. I played basketball growing up as well, and then I started playing football my freshman year of high school, and I continued lacrosse all the way from first grade until now.
Did you learn anything from your older brother in terms of sports? Was he a competitive guy to be around? Did he push you to be a better player? What was it like?
So when I started playing, I felt like I had a competitive advantage against everybody else because, you know, he was always pushing me in the back window. But besides lacrosse, I mean, we both started football our freshman year of high school, and obviously the same thing with lacrosse. He started before me, and then he just gave me that competitive advantage for when I started. So,
did you guys ever imagine you would ever be together here at Montclair State playing Division III lacrosse? It seems like almost a dream for you guys and your family.
It definitely didn't feel like that was ever going to happen. Obviously, with COVID happening, my freshman year of high school and his junior year, so we only had that 1 year of high school to play lacrosse together, that one season. But I mean, it was kind of an easy decision coming here when he was already here.
I saw you guys are both exercise science majors. Tell me a little bit about that. Is this something that you guys could see each other maybe working together post-grad, or do you guys have a future in mind for that at all?
I don't know if he's going to be doing the same thing as me, but hopefully.
He was already in it, and it seemed like it was the right fit for me personally, just because I want to do something in the medical field. Definitely not occupational therapy, I'll leave that to him, but I'll be definitely doing something else, but definitely in the same field, yeah.
What does Montclair State mean to you guys, the lacrosse program? Are these people that you guys are going to be friends with for life? Is this something post-grad where you guys are going to keep in touch, maybe a reunion here and there?
Over my past 4 years here, I think there's definitely a lot of guys that I'm going to be friends with for a long time. And I mean, even the guys that I didn't talk to or weren't as friendly with as maybe some of my roommates or any of that, I know that if I reached out to any of them, I know they would be there for me, anything I need.
Lacrosse-wise, like, I think that my friend group and on our team, we're probably going to be friends for life, probably be at their wedding, so our relationships really mean a lot.
Great story for those siblings there on the men's lacrosse team. On the women's lacrosse team, we will also see a Red Hawks sibling, Amra Lukovic, on the women's lacrosse team, sister of, at this point, Montclair State legend Amir Lukovic. She'll be taking the field with the women today, a terrific contributor for that team as well. So siblings all over the place.
Yeah, talking about legends, we got one that is already engraved in Montclair State history and is continuing his baseball career at one of the most prestigious universities. Sam Angelo now plays at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, on a team that just won the College World Series last year. I recently took the trek down to North Carolina to speak to Sam Angelo about the season and what is in store for his future. Montclair State athletes are continuing their collegiate careers, trying to engrave their names into Montclair State history. One player, Sam Angelo, is continuing his college baseball career here at the University of Chapel Hill. The University of North Carolina just recently made the College World Series and have been a dominant program. Angelo looks to play his final season at his dream school and potentially continue after if he gets the opportunity. We traveled all the way down here to Bryson Field at Bossheimer Stadium to talk to Sam Angelo to see what is next.
I'll always be a Red Hawk. You know, I'm a Tar Heel for now, and I love it here. It's great. But I was at Montclair for 5 years, so I'm not gonna say that's not my home. That will always be my home. I'm a graduate first baseman, outfielder DH here at UNC this year. Now here at Chapel Hill for my last year of eligibility here, and I'm happy to be here. Chapel Hill was my dream school as a kid, so this is, even if I'm here for 1 year, this is trying to make the most of it.
Sam's father, Mark Angelo, talks about how UNC was always his dream.
When he received the offer to visit, we went down, and it's interesting that there's a picture of Sam when he's about 7 or 8 years old, and he's wearing a UNC hat, and that's where he wanted to go someday. So there is truth to the statement that Sam did always want to attend here, yes. So in a way, dreams can come true.
Angelo, fly ball, left field, carrying toward the wall, and gone!
I think that's going to be a huge hit for Angelo.
For me, I'm just trying to make the most of where I am right now here at UNC. Definitely if the opportunity comes to play after, we'll entertain it. Hopefully that happens. But if not, I have a finance degree from Montclair State and an MBA in 5 years. So definitely go into the workforce after if that's what my cards entail for me. But we're just trying to work here right now on what we can do here and help UNC win. What I miss at Montclair is the people. I was there for 5 years, so I definitely miss it a lot. The people made Montclair State. I say Red Hawk country, they'll always be my family, and I miss it. But, I'm happy to be here at UNC, so, yeah. Any Montclair State athlete or student, I would just say, work your tail off. That's really what I did. If you look at my story, everything came when I just got down and put my head down and worked as hard as I can.
And for Angelo at Montclair State, he was an absolute legend. He had 35 home runs in his career, 18 of those coming in his final season. He was the first player in Montclair State history to win more than one Player of the Year awards. He is 4th all-time in batting average, coming in at a .401, and his name will forever be engraved in Montclair State history.
It seemed like a fun trip, Tom. I mean, I heard you went to all kinds of places. You took a trip to the nation's capital for the first time?
Me and Vincent Bacone did take a trip to the nation's capital. It was before cherry blossom season, so it wasn't that packed. I wish I could see the cherry blossoms. I will see them sooner or later. But once we did get down to North Carolina, I went to Cookout. We had the Culver's. We went to Zaxby's. We had all these food places. Cookout was my favorite. We got a shirt. It's super cheap. It's great food, and I cannot wait to get. I cannot wait to get back down there.
He's got Cookout merch. I can't say I've ever heard of it.
It's a great baby blue shirt. I wish I brought it on set. I should have showed it off, but it's a great shirt.
Well, next year we'll bring a new program to the varsity level at Montclair State. Women's flag football will enter the scene, a growing sport that has picked up support across the country, even being backed by the NFL. Tim Burgess has more on the growth and the future of flag football.
I started playing flag football my sophomore year. As a person, it showed me how women's sports is on the rise, and how even I can do a sport that is mainly considered a men's sport. I played basketball and soccer. I played soccer for 8 years, and then I played basketball for 5. I definitely want to do it, and I've been getting my body ready for the collegiate level.
After I graduated, I then became a GA at the Citadel, which is also Division I in Charleston. After a few years, I moved to the high school ranks in South Carolina and then moved back to New Jersey. Would you be interested in coaching? And I was kind of like, what do you mean, like a powder puff game after school type of thing? He's like, no, there's this league that the Jets did. They just finished their first season. I think it's going to be good. I was like, I have no idea what he's talking about. So he's like, I'll send you a video. So the Jets social media team did an awesome video about that season. And I immediately after watching it, I hung up the phone, I called him. I'm like, I'm all in, just tell me what we need to do.
Flag football has quickly gained popularity on an international level. According to the NFL, an estimated 20 million people play flag football in more than 100 countries around the globe. And in the United States, 2.4 million kids under the age of 17 currently play organized flag football.
Passaic County Tech, they had over 200 girls try out. We had 33, so this year we took 22. We limited that. Some teams like PCTI has 45 on the roster. So Ridgewood started 4 years ago. It was actually done by Kate Cardew. That Jets ran the first league. The Jets are the reason that New Jersey has flag football in our state. The NFL is making a big push to reach out to the female population to promote the sport of football. It was to make all 50 states a sanctioned sport because Massachusetts actually declined it. We're on the last year of the pilot, which just means it's a 2-year test to see if the state could run. I think New Jersey is passing with flying colors. So you'll see it approved after next year saying, yes, we're going to recognize this as official state sport.
The NFL is heavily supporting the growth of women's flag football, including running a commercial during the 2025 Super Bowl and also with the NFL Flag 50 campaign, a movement to make girls flag football a varsity sport in all 50 states.
What the NFL is looking to do, they're looking to do a professional men's and women's flag football league. And that is kind of like the NBA, where they're kind of having the off season of the flag football, kind of to just promote the game. So it would kind of be run just like Olympic fives and going like that, which would be in the spring.
Flag football being announced for the 2028 Olympics has also contributed greatly to rapid growth of the sport. This has prompted many colleges in the United States to add women's flag football as a varsity sport.
Our other girl, Lucia, who's also an All-American, has been talked to by Baker, Kaiser. The opportunity for girls to get scholarships at the next level is going to change, right? We see it at Montclair State with Division III.
Montclair announced they would be adding women's flag football in December of 2024, with the sport starting NCAA competition in fall of 2025. This announcement came shortly before the Atlantic East Conference became the first at any level to sponsor women's flag football as a varsity sport.
Our first season was club level, and this year we started as varsity level across our conference as well as with associate members. So we have 7 schools. The NFL RCX sports are a big community building for flag football as a whole. So we've worked in conjunction with them throughout this process at different waves. They are the ones that are running tournaments and stuff like that. So working through rules, working through different stances for colleges and for making it applicable to collegiate athletes.
Kean University also announced in February that they would have women's flag football as varsity sport. When asked about the possibility of the New Jersey Athletic Conference having women's flag as a conference sport, Commissioner Terry Small said, "I've asked repeatedly if any of the other NJAC member schools are considering adopting the sport of women's flag football, and they have all responded that they are not. So we will have just Kean and Montclair State sponsoring that sport. I would love to have women's flag football as an NJAC sport, but until we have 4 more institutions sponsoring those sports, there is nothing that we can do from an NJAC perspective." With the addition of women's flag football, Montclair State will add a new chapter to its legacy of athletics and pave the way for other schools to offer the sport.
Just like Destiny said, they truly are a family. They do everything together. We don't have to change culture. We don't have to bring girls from all different backgrounds. They've known each other since the 2nd grade, so that cohesion really makes us gel.
Here today, I heard Tim. Tim, do you have something on the sideline for us?
Yeah, I got a little cupcake here. I can't have it. I'm dairy-free, but food and sports is the backbone of every big sporting event. If you want to go to a game, a cold drink, a hamburger, and a hot dog, that's the best way to experience it. We have a little more for you guys about the different foods in sports.
Food. What keeps us moving and brings us together. Most importantly, we think about it a lot. For athletes, it's a science, but for us, it's an art. From hot dogs to burgers and even walking tacos, food brings a powerful force of fun, shareability, and comfort when it comes to watching our favorite sporting events. But what kind of foods are brought to the table around the world? In the States, we are often known for our stadium-based foods, like hot dogs, burgers, and peanuts. Meanwhile, at sports bars, we get wings, loaded fries, and lots of beer while watching hockey, soccer, and especially American football. On the other hand, the UK goes all out with their iconic street foods such as sausage rolls, meat pies, and even fish and chips for football games. In South Korea, the main dishes include kimchi, Korean corn dogs, and tteokbokki. With baseball being the most prominent sport in the country at Jeomsil Stadium, There are over 700 different meal options to choose from. Meanwhile, Brazil makes their iconic sanduíche de calabresa, commonly served with onions and a splash of lime. Touching back on American cuisines, fans across the nation often find themselves tailgating, a popular tradition before athletic events. Fans gather in parking lots to indulge in food, drinks, and friendship, oftentimes bringing grills, coolers, and speakers. Rival supporters often join in, engaging in passionate debates and creating a major social celebration. Friends and families bond through their mutual love of their teams. Tailgating is just as important as the game, as it hypes up fans for the big match. From the first bite to the last cheer, food brings us together in ways that go beyond the game. Whether you're in a bustling stadium or watching from home, the perfect snack makes every moment better. Food, it's the ultimate game changer.
Sorry about the cupcake, Tim. I know you can't eat it, but I don't know what you can eat, to be honest. Dairy-free, gluten-free. It's probably why you're in much better shape than me, my friend. I'm sorry to hear it, though. A team that was hungry this season, Thomas. We got to switch gears here. Another terrific season. It's men's basketball, the NJAC champions this season for the first time in over 20 years.
Yeah, they won that NJAC championship in 2003. 22 years later, now they're bringing home another NJAC championship. What a season that they had. They brought in players, a Jacob Morales type guy who was a transfer from Rutgers. They had freshmen that stepped up because of injuries really early on in the season, in a Cabe Goss who wins Rookie of the Year and a Miles Primus. But then you also had the returners that came back. Mike Jackson, Kieran Flanagan, they all stepped up. Samar Abdullah unfortunately gets hurt midway through the season, and that's where Primus comes in. So it's a great all-around effort, and that is the reason why this coaching staff won Coaching Staff of the Year. Coach Potts goes out there, coaches his game, and now they're NJAC champions.
NJAC champions. So many deserving people on this team as well. You said it. A ton of adversity, and overall just a huge success of a season. Here is the story of the 2025 Montclair State men's basketball team. The Montclair State men's basketball season saw heights that hadn't been reached in decades.
Montclair State.
The expectations were high entering the fall. The Redhawks ranked second in the preseason NJAC coaches poll, and after just missing the national tournament in 2024, the team had extra motivation this go-around. Montclair State brought back veteran leadership with Mike Jackson and Kieran Flanagan leading the helm of returning players. But new faces also entered the scene, from freshman phenoms Cabrian Goss and Miles Primus to transfer impacts like Jacob Morales. The Redhawks oozed with talent before they even played a game. Everything began according to plan, with the team winning its first 3 games of the season. But after a shaky middle stretch of the year, things needed to be corrected. A close loss to conference foe NJCU gave Montclair State a 3-3 NJAC record in early January. A frustrating game against a rival created a challenge for the Redhawks to respond. And boy, did they. The wins began to come from every direction through January.
Montclair State takes down the William Patterson Pioneers in dominating fashion.
Montclair State wins! The Redhawks win! Let's get it. Let's go, Redhawk Nation!
A 7-game win streak, and Montclair State found themselves at the top of the standings in the conference. And after starting NJAC play 3-3, the Redhawks walked into history on the final day of the regular season. The win solidified their first regular season conference title since 1982. But the run was only beginning. After a strong end to the regular season, the games only meant more as the NJAC tournament commenced. And with the home crowd behind them, the Redhawks continued their dominance in the semifinal.
Nice shake inside. Cabe Goss lays it in. A filthy move from the freshman.
Flanagan,
Primus, poster! He baptizes Frieswick!
For the first time since 2003, Montclair State will play for the NJAC title. The win set up an opportunity for Montclair State to address its kryptonite earlier in the year.
Yeah, tonight's the third matchup from these two teams. So far, though, the Roadrunners find themselves 2-0 versus the Redhawks this season.
The experienced Ramapo Roadrunners had found the recipe to stopping Montclair State during the regular season, winning both of the previous matchups and even winning without their star player in one. The matchup was the one everyone anticipated coming into the tournament, and it was a treat.
Open Corbo three, good! Hop steps for the tie, he got it!
It took 5 extra overtime minutes, but at last,
It's their ultimate revenge!
the Redhawks were back atop the NJAC, their first title since 2003.
That number over there is going to change to 2025. We kept looking at that number all season. It says 2003, and we changed it just now to 2025, baby. Let's go!
After all of the emotions of a conference championship, Montclair State still had business to take care of, this time at the national stage. The NCAA tournament made its way to Panzer Athletic Center for the first and second rounds, another opportunity for the Redhawks to play on their home floor. And it was there that the program once again made its mark in the year of 2025. The round of 64 win over Utica College was the team's first in the national tournament in over 20 years. The Redhawks had one more chance to dominate and celebrate, just as they had done all season long. Although the season would end the following day, the 2025 Redhawk men's basketball program achieved things that hadn't been done since before their own players were born. And while it is always bitter at the end of the road, the foundation has been built and the standard has been set. An unforgettable year for Montclair State, and excitement awaits for what's to come.
Wow, what a fun season that was for the men's basketball team. But kind of switching sides to the women, who also won an NJAC championship. They came in with a lot of adversity at the beginning of the season, coming in 7th in the NJAC coaches poll as the dark horse, and they kind of proved everybody wrong.
Well, coming into the season, Thomas, I just think there were so many questions, right? There's a ton of new faces. They missed the NJAC tournament completely the season before this. Wasn't exactly sure what to expect. They had some new contributors. Alyssa Credwell is coming into her freshman year. They had high hopes. They didn't know what they would get, which, I mean, eventually they get the NJAC and Region 4 Rookie of the Year. They have the coaching staff of the year in the NJAC this season. They get the grad transfer, Sophie Benaventine, with Division I experience at Boston University. And it just was so much adversity for them this season as well. They lose their first 2 conference games. Well, where do you go from there? How about we win our next 15 conference games until the final game of the regular season, and then you lose to TCNJ in the regular season finale? What comes next? Well, we get our revenge, and we in the NJAC while we're at it. So it was just an incredible season. You got to talk about the upset as well. Christopher Newport ranked 3rd in the coaches poll, ranked 9th in the media poll, and Montclair State goes down to Washington, D.C., your stomping grounds, and comes away with a victory. An incredible upset in round 1, and just a phenomenal season for Montclair State women's basketball.
What a phenomenal season indeed, and this is the women's basketball recap.
But it never is better than basketball season. It's time. Let's go. First basketball game here at Panzer. For Montclair State, they were kind of a question mark coming into the season. A lot of new faces on the team as well, and they were voted the dark horse team in the NJAC coaches poll, voted to come in 7th place, but also a team that nobody really knows what the ceiling or their floor is.
How about this effort from Montclair State today?
Montclair State takes down Old Westbury 84-27.
The Redhawks improved to 4-0 on the season, 2-0 at Panzer as they prepare for their first NJAC matchup on Tuesday night.
Hughes takes the 3, and it's good! Just how do you feel about this win after starting the NJAC season 0-2?
Yeah, we really needed this win. We played really 2 tough teams on the road. So our first home game, we had to come out, play hard. All the respect to them, they played great, but this was our game and we knew it coming into it.
Entering today's contest with a 9-3 record, 3-2 in NJAC play over the months of November and December, Montclair off to one of their best starts in program history over the past 10 years.
Montclair State has been playing terrific basketball as of late. They're on a 4-game winning streak, currently 12-3 on the season, and they're doing a lot of damage. They're a lot of exceeding expectations.
Hey, they are 12-3 and still dominating the NJAC, looking really good with a 6-2 record. Red Hawks take this one. They extend their NJAC winning streak to now 7 games, and they extend their winning streak to 5 games here. Red Hawks win 75-60, 15-point win.
Montclair State with a massive win here in the NJAC as they take this one 69-61 over the Rowan University Profs. It's 6 in a row for the Red Hawks.
Guys, 10 wins in the conference.
The revenge tour continues. Rowan check, William Patterson check. 68-54 the final. Montclair State coming out with a victory.
Make it 11 in a row for Montclair State University. The women's basketball team is making a statement in the NJAC here on Senior Day.
Now it's the final day of the NJAC regular season, and we should be treated to an epic matchup. The College of New Jersey Lions are in town, and they are taking on the Montclair State University Red Hawks. Final day of the regular season. The fight for the #1 spot in the NJAC tournament comes down to the next 40 minutes of basketball. And just like that, it is back-to-back for the TCNJ Lions. They are the regular season champions of the New Jersey Athletic Conference and will have home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
And we have a huge NJAC playoff matchup between the Montclair State Red Hawks and the William Patterson Pioneers. We're going to get a possession. Hughes takes the deep 3 and drains it. That's the dagger. And Montclair State Red Hawks are going to go down to Ewing, New Jersey to play the College of New Jersey in the NJAC final.
It is the #2 seeded Montclair State Red Hawks versus the #1 seeded TCNJ Lions. Shot. It is good by Shannon Hughes. Hughes for 3 again. Puts it home. Vero has a lane. Vero and 1. Olivia Vero. The Montclair State Red Hawks are your 2025 NJAC Women's Basketball Champions.
We took pride in being the dark horse. We came into every game with a chip on our shoulder, and we won NJAC. I'm sorry.
Let's go! Happy Monday, Montclair State. This season marks the greatest turnaround in program history.
Montclair State would go on and win their first round against Christopher Newport, who was 25-1 and ranked #5 in the country, 67-64. They would go on and play SUNY Genesco in the next round and unfortunately lose 71-49, ending the season.
Well, I mean, what a terrific season from women's basketball. We are bounding toward game time here at Sprague, a familiar field for the multi-sport athlete Hiven Buffo. The freshman phenom, hailing from France, has had the chance to play both football as well as track and field here at Montclair State, and he has wasted no time making an impact, even placing this season at the Winter Championships for indoor track. A terrific athlete with unique beginnings. Mike Crisco has more.
For Montclair State University track and field star Hiven Buffo, home was France before moving to the United States.
To be honest, it was more like a change, I just wanted to live somewhere different, experience new things, new food, new cultures, so that was really about it.
But change in a new country can be harder than it seems, and this is something that Hiven had to adjust to.
France and the United States is like two different worlds, the culture way different, the food, the way people speak. When I came here, adjusting was it wasn't hard, but it took me a minute to adjust.
Shortly after stepping onto U.S. soil, Hiven hit the ground running with his athletic career. After getting introduced to football in high school, he decided to join track and become a multi-sport athlete, something that he would carry over into his collegiate career at Montclair, where he would meet and form a very close bond with head track and field coach Ian Carter.
I actually first met him. He did a visit with Coach Palazzo for football. And he was quiet when I first met him, very quiet, very humble kid. He spoke about his interest in playing football, but he also said that he did track and field. I got on the phone. I'm very close with Coach Palazzo. I was talking to him and said, hey, look, like, I got this kid. I think he has really a good upside in both football and track. And, I think he could really help us out.
Carter knew that Buffo was special, and so he would do all he could to secure him a spot on his team.
I decided to drive and meet him at the mall closest to his house and help him with his application process and the financial aid process, because he's actually a first-generation kid. So, his mother was working, very much, so it was hard for her to help. I got her blessing to help him out and get his stuff in.
For Coach Carter, it's about more than just how talented Hiven is as an athlete. It's about forming a bond with him and mentoring him to be the man he knows he can be.
My time with him early on, I got to understand like his interest in music and, his interest in football and players and things like that. So, we kind of established that bond. But, as we've gone on, I've really just trying to been like a good role model and mentor for him on, what are the do's and don'ts, try not to fall into that freshman hole of, not doing the right things and, making him understand that, you have an ability to do something great.
Now a freshman at Montclair, Buffo is a first-team All-American and has already placed third in the NCAA Division III Men's Indoor Championships for the triple jump event. This happened after only being introduced to this event 4 weeks prior, and it's a testament to his hard-working mindset.
Me, like, I'm always aiming for the top. Like, it don't matter if like somebody gonna tell me, oh, you might not get it, or like I'm just gonna aim for the top. Like, I'm always gonna be confident. That's what I did with triple jump.
Despite all of his accomplishments so far, Hiven is just scratching the surface of his potential, and he has no plans on slowing down anytime soon.
It's been the year of the dog here at Montclair State campus between Charlie, who's the director of positivity for the women's basketball team, and of course Pebbles, the school dog. We don't know where she is right now. She's probably around campus, but she promotes positive mental awareness on campus. We have a little more coming up on the feature.
My name is Molly Colligan. I'm a senior third baseman on the softball team, and I'm also a part of Team Pebbles. I had a dog of 15 and a half years. Her name was Teddy. She was a Wheaton Terrier. I also, during the summer times, I work at a rescue shelter by my house, so I just always love dogs. I got started with Team Pebbles because, like a lot of student athletes, I think they identify themselves as student athletes, and I think I just wanted something more for myself, and I also wanted to leave my mark on campus with being a student athlete and being a part of something on campus. Pebbles means a lot to Montclair State University. She's our pup Scot and our therapy dog on campus. She shines light to mental health on campus and also brings smiles and happiness to students on campus. I like being a very busy person and always having something to do, so it really isn't that hard for me. I time block my day from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, and also my coaches on the softball team are super supportive in me doing this, and also with Team Pebbles, my manager and my teammates on that team as well. They know like I'm a student athlete, I have my academics, and I have them as well, so they meet me where I'm at. Team Pebbles definitely de-stresses me. I am coming from class all morning to lift or pool recovery or film or practice, and when I see Pebbles, it just de-stresses me, especially after game days. When I see her, I'm just like the happiest version of myself. Being a student athlete is definitely the best thing that I ever did. If you really put your mind to something, I think you can definitely do it.
TJ, I heard you were afraid of dogs, and ironically, you were a producer on that piece. How was it with Pebbles?
A smaller dog, I don't fear it as much because I know some can be more aggressive, but in my eyes, I'm just pulling an anchor man if anything goes haywire. That's all.
But how does it feel? You're next to a big dog right now.
And that is my cue to get back to lacrosse. We're going to talk to our play-by-play guy upstairs, Ryan Nussbaum. Where are you at, Ryan? How we doing?
We are doing fantastic, CJ. What a pregame we've had so far. We're right behind me. Both Mary Washington and Montclair State getting geared for this big-time CLC matchup. Should be a good one, CJ.
Montclair. Brian, I mean, we're having such an exciting game today. The high stakes, the short schedule for these two teams, just how important is the game coming up right now?
Yeah, every game in this conference counts. All goes towards playoff seeding. I know it's still early in the conference season to be talking about that kind of thing, but again, every game counts. We're going to turn our attention to lacrosse right now.
All right, have a great call, Ryan. You and the boys up there, keep them in check.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you, CJ and Tom. We're up here in the booth. My name is Ryan Nussbaum, and we are about to get ready for this matchup between Mary Washington University and Montclair State. And right now, it's Montclair State looking for their first win in conference. Right here in front of their home crowd. Again, right in here beside me, it's Vin Bacone and Luke Sirianni. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Well, it's a beautiful day for some lacrosse. We are very excited. But it is a beautiful day for a game. It's supposed to be a little bit rainy late here, but that doesn't matter because it all comes down to this big CLC game, as you were saying, Ryan, and there's no better place to do it here at Sprague Field in Montclair.
Yeah, same with me. I'm doing great today. A lot of lacrosse ahead of us. These two teams are very solid. They match up really well against each other. I'm pumped up.
Yeah, and Luke, it's, of course, a conference matchup. Let's talk about the history between these two conference foes.
Yeah, Ryan, so today is only the 5th time that these two teams will ever meet between the Redhawks and University of Mary Washington. Their last matchup actually was a year ago tomorrow, where the University of Mary Washington won 11-8, snapping the Redhawks' 2-game winning streak versus them prior to that. And what I do know about today is this. Every time these two teams face off, there's a lot of offense, so expect a lot of goals. That's what I'm looking most forward to.
Yeah, and Luke, let's talk about the players that the fans should be having their eyes on. Who are you looking at today?
For Montclair State, I'm looking at junior attacker Max Morisoff. He leads the team with 30 goals and is second in assists with 13. And he just recorded 3 points in their weekend trip versus Christopher Newport, which they're a very high, powerful team.
Vin, how about on the other side?
Well, as you can see on the graphic up there, listen, Henry Mogg is my guy to watch. He's the senior attack right now, and I didn't want to look at someone that just led in goals. I wanted to look at someone that has both assists and goals in their name, and that's Henry Mogg. All right, second on the team with 17 goals so far on the season, first with 18 assists. He's been fantastic. Last year, he had 27 goals. He's on pace to do that once again. He had 1 goal in the last game, though, with 3 turnovers. He got to turn it around, but it will be a great game for sure. He also had 4 goals in the CLC tournament at Kane last year.
And Vin, continuing on with you, let's talk goalies. We have 2 really solid ones in the net for both teams. What's the breakdown?
Oh, my goodness. Well, it is going to be a goalie matchup today. These 2 goalies are basically the exact same person, but on the other side. Looking first at Montclair, it's Nicole Halls. All right, 77 goals allowed, a little over 9, and you see how similar these numbers are. They are right there. Now, of course, Halls has played a little bit less than Martin, but Martin hasn't seen 60 minutes of a full game since weeks ago against the Catholics. It's going to be a good game. They have similar records. Last game out, Wyatt Martin gave up 7 goals, had 5 saves. On the other side, Halls played a little bit under 30 minutes because he gave up 10 goals. It's a big rebound game here for these 2 goalies.
Thank you very much for that goalie breakdown, Vin. As we turn our attention to the starting lineups, first for the Mary Washington Eagles, it's going to be Ryan Adams, Nathan Turney, Tanner Boone, Bryce Ridge, Carter Lynch, Henry Mogg, Dave Vodopek, Dylan Frost, and number 88, Balin Galbraith, with Wyatt Martin, as mentioned before, in net. And over for Montclair State University, John Crank at attack with Jack Cleary, Ethan Mounier, Aiden Maxwell, Max Morisoff, Patrick Bork, Ryan Harper, Julian Verona, and Corbin Quintero. As mentioned before, Halls in net for the Redhawks. Both teams starting to take the field now as we approach game time. And as we're getting there, any other things you guys have your eye on in terms of key factors of this matchup?
Well,
no, you take it away, Luke. Please, please.
Well, something I was looking at was the Red Hawks last game. Again, they played a very solid Christopher Newport team over the weekend. 7 different goal scorers in that time period. They need that today. You can't put all this pressure on one individual player. I think you just got to spread it out and, help carry the offensive load a little bit. Split it up as much as you can.
Yeah, and we know a lot about Christopher Newport. I mean, they have a week-long break right now. They played last Saturday. This is their first game since last Saturday. They're 3-1 at home. All right, if I'm taking a loss in Virginia, the only place I want to play next is back at Sprague Field here at home. They're 3-1 here. It's a good place to bounce back and get your first CLC win.
Absolutely, Vin. As we are approaching game time, the starting lineups for Montclair State being introduced to the home faithful here at Sprague. One thing I want to talk about is the offensive production for several players from Montclair State. And Max Morsoff, of course, we talked about. But what about John Crank? He's had some impressive goals so far this season.
He's been incredible. I mean, 17 goals so far in the season. He's only had 2 assists. That's not really the name of his game. He's had 3 in the last 2 games. He even went on a little bit of a streak where he wasn't scoring for 2 games. But the big game you want to look at, you look back at Sonny Newpaltz for him. 4 goals, 2 assists. He ended with 6 points. All 4 shots on goal went in. Like a productive night from him for there.
Absolutely, Vin. As both teams face off at midfield, both sides getting ready to go to war. As the captains shake hands, the goalkeepers, shake hands and go towards their nets. Both teams break. And we are getting set for action. Mary Washington in the powder blue with the navy lettering and numbers. Montclair State in the classic white and red combination. We approach face-off time here at Sprague Field. It's going to be Lucas Novak standing in for the face-off. Montclair is ready. Mary Washington is ready. We are ready. Here's face-off, and Montclair State fighting for it. Scooped up by Mary Washington.
Good start for Mary Washington. They lose the faceoff, but they're able to recover it almost immediately there.
There's Dillman holding it as they continue on the attack. Deliberately moving is Henry Moog.
Very physical off that faceoff. Novak tried to tie it up, and it ended up going in favor of the Eagles to start us off.
Frost working the defense, passes it outside.
Hands back, come on, hands back.
Picked up by Moog again as they're working right outside midfield. Making a move now is Frost. He cuts back, passes to a teammate. Lynch loses the ball. It's loose. Montclair State fighting for it. A scrum breaks out for the ball, and MSU comes away with it.
And that's what you got to be able to do. Their last game out against Stockton University, 23-8. They scored at least 4 goals in each period. You got to be able to get the defense to make stops.
Maxwell passes it back to John Crank. Sends it back. Is Montclair State's first attack of the day.
Got to give credit to Corbin Quintero as well on defense. He just took that ball and immediately countered. That's what you have to do. Waste no time to get out there.
Contact behind the net. Shot coming in. It's deflected. It was Martin with a great deflection as the ball goes loose.
Montclair's playing really aggressive to start off here, and that's a good shot down low. You get some more looks like that, one's bound to go in.
Red Hawks still on the attack. He turns, looking for options, goes across and loses the ball. It was clear he had a look at it before losing it.
And it looks like there's a broken stick on the field. That's early.
Yeah, early broken stick for one of these players.
For defensive ball in Galberth.
Lobbing it behind the net. As Boone looks for options. Montclair playing relatively tightly towards that 12-meter fan.
Nice job out there by Harper, just keeping Boone contained right now.
Boone cuts outside. He looks to go in front. Whistle called and a turnover. Good stand for the Red Hawks.
They're showing a lot of really good moves early, and that's what you want to be doing, especially early stages. Early stages of this game, you really have to be making some big moves.
As Cleary takes over, he charges in, passes the crease, goes behind the net. In front, shot taken, a bouncer, and it's above the net.
That was a great look. Maybe one of the better looks you're going to get today, and that's the only way you can get through that Christopher Newport defensive line. Both teams, as I mentioned in the pregame, look really even in terms of overall talent.
It was Meunier on the last shot. Montclair still on the possession. Passes it outside towards Crank. Crank gives it back again. He has the ball now, charging inside. As the offense still trying to get back on the attack. 30 seconds left on the clock for the shot.
And it looks like they're just trying to read the room right now, figuring out some shots.
Here's Crank, a bouncer, deflected off of a Mary Washington defender, and the Eagles scoop it up.
That looked like it might have gone off Martin's leg. Gets a lucky break there.
Zeno moving up himself. Relatively fast-paced action, but no shots threatening as of now. Boone working the outside. He's going to continue to hold the ball, trying to find options, as he instead gives it over towards Moog. And Moog just holds it. Mary Washington moving very deliberately in the early stages. A pass outside, the relay, the shot, and a great deflection from Halls. The ball goes out.
What a play that was, and I think Mary Washington just got Patrick Bork, the Red Hawk defender, stuck between two players. He had to commit to one, and they quickly dished it off to the open player. That was a really nice look.
The Eagles will continue on their attack.
Halsted, was that a splits there that he did?
Absolutely. As charging in, shot coming downstairs, and a goal! Dylan Frost breaks open the scoring here at Sprague.
Well, that's how you want to get started if you're Mary Washington. Not if you're the Red Hawks, though. Still 10 minutes left in this period, and that's a rough blow. I mean, a lot of defense in front of you. Can't really see the ball in front of you. You just have to make an inference where it's going to go.
Goal number 14 for the sophomore. Take another look at it. Just an amazing player so far. He's been all over the field as a sophomore, dominating early on here, and that's the way you do it. You got to set the tone really early.
Back here on the face-off, Novak out there again for the Red Hawks. And the scrum is on. Montclair State fighting for it. The Eagles are swarming, but ultimately the Red Hawks take over possession. Their first face-off win of the day before we'll swat it away. Eagles getting the ball back. They look to double their lead on this next possession. Passed back towards Vogue, who hit it outside.
As anticipated, Ryan, a lot of physicality in near the 50-yard line.
And this is a team that we always talk about finding your groove. You got to be able to find your groove early. This is a team that has scored 15 goals in the first period.
Here comes another shot, and a laser gets into the net. Ryan Adams doubles the lead. And just like that, Mary Washington wasting no time getting onto the board.
They're finding their way past the defense.
11th goal of the year for Adams, and he did that one in style. It was a laser from way downtown to get to the back of the net.
That was a tough angle as well. On the left side of the goal, take a look at it again. Right from the 15-yard line, just put it in a perfect spot where Halsey couldn't get to it. That was an incredible snipe, and now they doubled their lead, as you said.
We get our third face-off of the game as Novak goes to work. Trip stop. As the whistle is called, Montclair will win the possession. Line change being made for the Red Hawks. Mary Washington making limited adjustments as well. Here's Meunier. Passes it behind the net. Moving outside is Graziano, who dishes it out over towards Verona. Verona holds and waits for his team to get in position before spinning in himself right outside the arc He's going to pass back instead. Ethan Mounier charging in. Thought about for a second, instead pass it off. That one's going to be blocked off by the defenders. Nathan Turney picks it up. Turney is going to take it past midfield. A lob inside. This one is loose. Hall's out of position, rushes back to get in the goal.
That was just Patrick Bork on that play, being able to get his stick in and just deflect it, the slightest of touches, but it maybe saved a chance at a third goal.
Both teams making line changes as it's going to be Reese Stone with the ball. Passed outside. Outside of the arc. Mary Washington working a bouncer, and that one's deflected. Montclair State's going to win the ball. They charge the other direction.
And for Montclair, they put no defense on Votepex there. He was wide open. I mean, you have Martin who's able to make a nice save, but you got to put some defense when it's needed.
Yeah, it does appear that the Redhawks are one step behind Mary Washington right now.
Jack clearly looks to change that right now as the offense for MSU. It's back on the attack. MSU still looking for their first goal of the game. Nordstrom behind the net with pressure. Spins around. Looked for a shot. He's going to just roll it to the other side of the arc instead. That time the ball was going to be deflected out of play by Balin Galbraith.
The defense there, it's immaculate right now. Montclair's not being able to find any holes to get through.
Redhawks still have a chance to score as they keep possession of the ball. Cleary from outside the arc, passes it inside. Big amount of pressure coming from the Eagles defense. Cleary in front of the net again. This time it was swatted behind the net. Mary Washington with another defensive stand.
They have absolutely nothing right now. They can't even get a shot off. The Eagles are so focused and organized on defense. And how about the last play from Galbraith? He just kept closing the space until the Redhawks ran out of room to work with.
The umbrellas coming out here at Sprague Field as we start to see the rain accumulating. Not surprising considering the forecast today. And Mary Washington looking to make it rain in terms of goals. They're up 2-0.
And this is a team that finds their groove in the first period. These last two games, 15 goals in the first period, only 2 allowed.
As it's going to be Mary Washington looking to cut inside. A spin. A bouncer and another deflection for Halls. Using that butterfly position almost like a hockey player to get that one out of play, but he still has work to do. The Eagles keep the ball.
Another strong look there from Mike Safarian-Jones. Nearly could have been goal number 3.
Tripped up behind the net before passing it back out. Mary Washington charging in. A shot underhand and a goal. 3-0 for Reese Stone.
Montclair's got to come together here. They've got to figure something out. As you see, they're talking a little bit here. But that's goal number 3 in a little under 10 minutes.
See the replay right there. The Redhawks struggle so far. Looking at their last game over the weekend versus Christopher Newport, they let up 15 goals. And it seems right now defense is a concern here in the first quarter. And they're playing 2 tough opponents back-to-back. But still, for Coach Matt Bosque, somebody who's had professional lacrosse experience, it's not something he wants right now.
Now's the 3rd goal of the game. Reese Stone, it was his 13th of the season. So we get a foul and a line change for both teams. Back underway, Montclair looking to strike back. Back behind the net, John Crank. Sends it ahead. Now Montclair just looking to get something past the arc. Red Hawks outside. Cleary spins in. Pump fakes out. And the ball swatted away again. And that was just a pickpocket kind of play for the Mary Washington defense. Snipe passes it outside to Galbraith. Shot coming and a goal! Make that 4 unanswered for the Eagles. What a first quarter performance they've had so far.
Galbraith on that one really just locks it back and unleashes the hook there. Look at that. He had so much room to work with it. Nobody around him. No defense was being played. There's 3 defenders there. No one's doing anything. You got to put a body on him.
The defense absolutely has been really struggling. For the Mary Washington offense, they have found their groove. I thought the Red Hawks started the game with a couple of the better looks, but as of late, it's been foot on the gas all the way for the away team.
Novak on the face-off again for Montclair. This time Mary Washington again wins the face-off. They've been dominating on that area of the field. Wasting no time in front of the goal. Shot taken. This time it's deflected.
Another nice save there by Halls. He's able to really move around and get something working for him.
Yeah, he's been busy facing many shots so far in the early stage of this game. Eagles still on the prowl.
If you are Halls, though, it's a little bit hard because last game out, giving up 10 goals against a very tough.
Shot coming off the crossbar, and I think it was in, and it is a goal for Mary Washington. He took that from all the way downtown as a flag is out.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of pointing there. You're going to need to see the replay on this one to see why the flag comes out. But 5-0 early. They've now had over.
The officials will discuss this one, but the flag came out after the play, so I don't think it'll have any effect on the goal. Let's see the action. A bounce pass off the crossbar goes in.
See, during the celebration there, a little bit of taunting.
Yeah, and I think right now, just not necessary. You're up by so many points, and you see it right there.
There it is, right there. Yep.
It's going to be Vodopek who is credited with the goal for Mary Washington. And now for the first time today, special teams are going to be a factor as Montclair will go a man up.
Need to grab a goal on this power play here. Turn something here into a positive play. Only 1 shot on goal for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, so Vodopek, who just scored the goal, is going to be on the sidelines for a minor penalty. 47 seconds to work with on the man-up situation. Montclair still struggling to get possession of the ball as Mary Washington has done a great job just sweeping the rug, getting the ball back. So far, not much in the way of an attack for the Red Hawks.
All right, they've been stopped every opportunity so far. I mean, we've seen 1 save for Martin, and he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. He's just been relaxing back there.
That save happened right in the beginning of the game as well.
Yeah.
Really no offense for Montclair State.
Stone from behind the net, a long pass to reset the action. Dylan Frost is going to take over as we go back to even strength. Frost cuts inside, passes it. The cut inside, shot taken. A bouncer is deflected again, but this time it's going to go in. The route is on as Dylan Frost strikes again.
Dylan Frost's second goal does a nice job of rebounding that one and instantly finding the lane. Look, you see Halls goes down on this. Frost cold with that one.
Yeah, amazing save from Halls. You can't expect a double save there. There were a bunch of Red Hawks standing and watching. They have to be there on that rebound to try to either clear it out of the area or just anything, even a body in front. But for now, I mean, what could you say? Mary Washington came to play today, and they have a lot of supporting fans that made the trip from Virginia, and they have to be very proud right now of what they're watching.
Absolutely. as there are plenty of local players both in the tri-state area for this Mary Washington team. So no surprise to see the fans out in support for them. And right now, their team is absolutely rolling with 2:50 left in the first quarter.
6 goals on the season, in the game so far. And it feels like every opportunity they're finding lanes and lanes and lanes to just get through. You got to hope that Montclair is able to find this groove soon.
Another shot's going to be saved by Halls.
Got to give it to Halls right now. He's dealing with a lot of pressure back there, and he's still able to come up and make some saves. He's doing a great job.
Montclair trying to muster up an offensive push. Passed outside to Cleary, who gets it back over. A spin move inside before passing it backwards to Morozov. Morozov looking to generate some scoring for the Hawks in this battle of the Birds, Eagles versus Red Hawks. He holds it with a minute 43 left in the first. Finally making a move. Looking for options. Tight defense being played. The shot was deflected as I believe a defender came away to poke it away.
I think Morozov might have had Cody Cooper for a split second cutting in, but that play is now over.
Here comes Mary Washington, a shot and a goal! Keller Dillman makes his presence felt. 7-0.
It looks like they're playing on easy road mode right now. They're able to get through every lane. There's no look at this. A great shot, and the defense was there this time. But they are figuring out ways to get past the defense with no problems.
You're right. The Red Hawk defense is on that play. They were in front of the net. I don't know if that kind of blinded Halls in net, but again, just no matter what they do, it seems like they can't stop the offense of the Eagles.
A trip at midfield as both teams diving, putting it all on the line to get possession of this faceoff. Ball still poked away. Finally goes out of play.
Now, this is the 4th game all season where they've scored 6 or more goals in the first period. Now, shockingly enough, though, they are 4-0 in those games. Montclair's got to put a little twist on this one, or 3-0 in those games.
As the flag comes out, and Montclair's going to play the advantage. Cleary comes in, passes it behind.
There's a lot going on near that bench. Some pushing and shoving, a lot of screaming. Game's getting really physical.
Yeah, a lot of tension as Montclair still on the attack. We're awaiting the penalty against Mary Washington. Passed back. Shot taken, long distance, and a goal for Montclair State University. And I believe it was number 48, Julian Verona, who scored.
Yeah, that was huge. They needed it so bad. Any type of positivity to end the first quarter. Verona had an open shot. He took it. And let's take a look at it one more time. You see he's got a little bit of room, and he places it perfectly. Top right corner. That was the best case scenario right now.
Yeah, and about 11 feet out on that shot. It's his 13th goal. You got to get started somewhere. This is where you start putting building blocks on building blocks. You got to make a tower.
And it's interesting, like the area he took the shot from as well. Montclair's been trying to go right in the face of Wyatt Martin the entire game so far. Hasn't been played to much effect, but this time they strike from long distance. Ball loose, 30 seconds left in the quarter. Montclair has to move quickly if they want to get a second goal on before we go into the first quarter break. Cleary cuts inside, looking for a space, takes a shot, Martin deflects. Picked up by the Eagles. 10 seconds left as the clock bleeds down. Last attack for Mary Washington. Shot taken, deflected off a defender, and that will wrap up the first. The rain is pouring here at Sprague, and so are the goals for Mary Washington. They lead the Red Hawks 7-1 What a start to this game for the visitors.
Yeah, Ryan, I think you said it perfectly. The goals are raining down right now. You see, this is a time where you get back into your groove. You score that goal at the end there. That's what you want to see. You just want to get into a little bit of a groove here. Still a lot of game to play. We still have 45 minutes. That is more than enough time to make something happen.
Ever since that taunting penalty on goal number 7, it seems like something like a spark has been lit inside the Redhawks. They scored that 1 goal. Cleary had a chance to add a 2nd goal. And honestly, I think for the Redhawks, you're probably a little disappointed right now that you started playing right at the end of the quarter. Now you have a break, and the momentum could kind of break or take a pause, but you got to hope right now. Just come out in the 2nd quarter, play really tough. They ended that quarter so well despite all the struggles they had early on.
Yeah, these games tend to swing from quarter to quarter. You see teams go on runs in the early stages of the game, and the team that's down kind of finds their footing and is able to produce goals of their own to kind of make things closer. But in terms of making things closer, Vin, what do the Redhawks have to do to get goals in the net, get balls in the net?
Well, right now in that first quarter, what we saw a lot of was just the defense backing them off. They couldn't find a lane. Then there would be a turnover. That's what we constantly saw on the Redhawks side in the first part of the first half. It wasn't until the end where we see a big goal, where they're able to make it through. And even that, they were 11 feet out on that shot. I think you got to see them make some plays. Get through the defense. They've been stopped at the wall. It's a brick wall. Wall's got to break. Got to come down.
An offensive onslaught for the Eagles. 13 shots compared to Montclair State's 5, and 11 of them were on target.
I still want to believe that spark came when Coach Matt Pasquet was, I think, yelling at the defense a little bit and about some of the calls. Talking about a guy here as a 2010 Major League Lacrosse MVP. The guy's been around the game. He breathes lacrosse, and right now you got to hope the Redhawks could continue what they had in the first.
Absolutely. Redhawks looking to respond as a check attempt coming down for Mary Washington. Montclair on the attack as is Jack Cleary on the outside. Passes it back, and we're going to reset with Cody Cooper.
They're trying to find an open lane right now and just passing it around to get that open lane.
Check at midfield. Pass to Mounier. Mounier spins in. Couldn't find any space, so he found John Crank instead. He's still outside the 12-meter arc. Deliberate attack being made by the Redhawks. Passed outside. Jack Cleary. Great defense being played by Mary Washington right now. Looking for any type of options. Mounier thought about it for just a second. He holds on to it instead. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Back behind. Jack Cleary. Underhanded and saved. And he will get his stick all the way on it. And what a stand it was defensively for the Eagles.
Yeah, and clearly there, he saw that, you want to know what, we don't have a possession here. We want to get the shot clock violation. I'm just going to put something up. And that's what you got to do. We see it in basketball all the time. You just got to put something up at that point. And clearly says, you want to know, I have the best angle, I guess. I'll take it.
Foul on the other end. MSU back on the attack. John Crank had a look at it, lost it in translation as it's saved by Wyatt Martin.
That was all number 20, Keller Dillman. He tipped that ball right in time as it was going to fall right to John Crank, who I think would have had the second goal of the day for Montclair State. It's little things like that on defense that help the away team right now with their 6-goal cushion.
Nate Turney for the Eagles. Spins in. Big time pressure being felt defensively from Montclair State. Vodopek. Passed it back. Carter Lynch over to Dylan Frost. First liners out right now for Mary Washington offensively. Still working behind the net. Moog passes it over to Frost. Frost with pressure, just gets rid of it. Lucky to find Carter Lynch. 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Lynch with a pump fake, still working to find a teammate, and he does. Lobs behind the net. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Time dying down. Sent up a prayer. The whistle was not blown as the shot clock was reset in the nick of time for Mary Washington. Right in front of the goal. A shot taken, deflected again by Halls. Great defense being played by Burge.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Montclair State. The touch by Halls will reset the shot clock, but you got to give credit to them on the defense before that, leading up to it. They didn't really give up a whole lot of room.
Looking completely different defensively, Montclair State is opposed to the first quarter. Mary Washington still on attack. Uncorks a shot. And that one was caught and deflected by the goalkeeper Halls.
7 saves for him now.
That was as open as you can get. The
It really was.
the look that they had right there. And Halls made it look easy.
A little too much mustard on the pass as it goes out of play. Eagles take over. Zeno working it up the field. Passes it over. Back to Frost. He's definitely been an impact player so far for the Eagles. The pass inside. In front of the goal now. An opportunity. This time broken up. Great play by the MSU defense.
Hey, Luke, you said it perfectly. The defense looks like they're waking up a little bit. And Ryan, you mentioned it earlier too. They have an entirely new formation, and it's a lot more aggressive right now. I think Coach Poske is a little bit understanding of what's going on here.
The Redhawks were not able to advance the ball past midfield in time. It's going to be a turnover. So valuable opportunities for Montclair offensively being squandered in the second.
And you see the 6-goal lead, 7-1 in the second quarter, and no rush for the Eagles. Very wisely, Reese Stone will just work with the clock.
Stone thought about himself before passing off. Right in front of the net, a shot deflected by Halls. Ball still loose. Mary Washington on the attack. They pick it up. They'll keep their possession going. Here comes a pump fake. A shot off the crossbar. Was not ruled a goal. Mary Washington rolls on. That's about as close as you can get for a shot on the net. Here's Boone. Outside, a leaping shot saved.
Halls is having a masterclass game right now, and you start to see the kind of success that the Eagles had early on in the first quarter, and maybe a wise timeout taken here by Montclair State. They just need to talk it over. As of late, it's felt like how we started the game a little bit. A lot of success from the Eagles.
Yeah, and the Eagles there, 3 possessions on that play. They were able to make a lot of good shots, but Halls is there, is able to slow them down as much as he can, stopping them and constantly making these moves. We're a little under 6 minutes in right now, and he looks like he's locked in more than ever. A bowling ball at his face, he could stop it. Doing a great job.
Yeah, and right now Montclair on the other end offensively starting to try to put stuff together. They only have 2 shots on goal this quarter so far, but again, they've still trying to kind of find their groove, find their mojo perhaps on that end.
Yeah, something has to go there. Getting way outshot, 16-5 in terms of shots on goal, and luckily for the Redhawks, they didn't let up goal number 8. That was a fire shot. So much velocity on that one crossbar hit, and right now, University of St. Mary, they're just knocking on the door. Mary Washington, they have been outstanding so far, and for the Redhawks, you're 3-1 at home on the year. Your only loss at home was versus DeSales, but if you lose today, it's going to be you played a very tough team. Take a look again at the one crossbar shot, or actually that was the save from Halls. He's been amazing today. Cannot give him enough credit.
Absolutely. He has been challenged, especially early on, by the Eagles as we break huddle and get ready to get back underway.
9 saves.
So far for the Eagles, it's been Adams, Moog, Vodopek, and Frost with Till. And for Montclair State, Mounier had an assist from Verona. Back to play for Mary Washington. They look to build on their 7-1 lead. Behind the net. Takes a shot, deflected again by Halls. And the defense struggling to get onto the ball. They try to get the ground ball, and they do. They come away with it. Now they move quickly side to side. Pass towards the midfield. And they just could not get the pass cleanly, but thankfully for Montclair State, Jack Cleary is going to be right there.
What a play that was from Carter Finnan. He got hit and spun as he got hit to just kind of deflect all that body motion, which I thought was going to knock him to the ground, but he used it to his advantage and helped Montclair retain possession and keep it now. And now here we go, another attack.
Yes, sir. Here we go again. Cody Cooper driving in. A lob, trying to go for the lob attempt, but ultimately it was a little too much on it. The shot went behind the net.
An athletic play for Simmons there. Just couldn't get enough on it. Leaping and just trying to put it in. Impressive.
MSU will have another chance to strike back. They charge in. Reset. Cleary sends it around the arc. Shot taken. Another one from long distance. This time deflected again by Mary Washington. Snipe doing a great job for this Mary Washington team. Mary Washington on the other end. They look to strike quickly. Turney. Just waiting for the cavalry to come in from behind the net. A lob in front. The relay was not made, but here's the shot instead from way outside. That's going to go out.
That last play was all Christian Shotwell on defense for Montclair State. Again, just little things like poking your stick in there to prevent an easy shot might have just saved yet another goal. And right now, the Redhawks starting to step up a little bit on defense.
Right in front of the net, a bouncer downstairs, and it's out again.
Behind the back on that one. My goodness.
No quarter given by the Eagle offense.
That did not miss by much.
No.
Still plenty of time to work with, 30 seconds for the Eagles. Passed outside. Another shot taken. This time it's in. Dylan Frost with the hat trick.
Already. My goodness. 3 to his name. And that was just, he whipped that.
Absolutely. A heat-seeking missile as we get the replay here, Luke.
Yeah, take a look at the replay. You see William Burge following, and Christian Shotwell just lost his man a little bit on defense, and a catch-and-shoot opportunity is well taken. And now 8 goals on the board. Touchdown and the 2-point conversion successful. 8-1 for the Eagles.
And Montclair with the 1-point play. Ball kicked out and taken by Mary Washington. And a big check right at midfield. Montclair able to stop the momentum with some powerful defense.
You saw that one coming from a mile away. Corbin Quintero, the defenseman, just waiting for that hit.
But the ball's wrestled away by Mary Washington, and they're right back on the attack. Line change being made. Mary Washington bringing on fresh legs.
For an 8-1 game, we have seen a lot so far. Goals, hits, physicality, really strong face-offs, and I would say organized lacrosse. Even the Redhawks, although they're down by 7, they've had their fair share of success and positive plays. It's just about stacking it up.
This time, another shot downstairs, deflected by Halls. Picked up by Montclair State. The ball's loose now. They fight for it throw it back, and they'll win the possession.
Patrick Bork did a really nice job boxing out on that rebound, not giving the Eagles a chance to get a second-time chance like they did earlier for goal number 6. That's how you got to do it on defense. Do whatever you could to keep the goalie comfortable.
And for the second time today, Montclair failed to get it across the midpoint of the field. And it's going to be another turnover. This time, ball's loose. Montclair picks it up. A check at midfield. Ball loose, picked up now by Ridge. Ridge on the attack. Whistle blown. Possession goes to the Redhawks. 5 minutes to go in the half. The question now, who's going to step up offensively for Montclair State? Mounier had an assist earlier.
We've only seen Mounier and Verona right now.
Mounier has the ball again, goes downstairs, a 5-hole. Brings the game to 8-2. What a masterclass by Ethan Mounier. Gets the goal to go. 13th of the season.
Now a goal and an assist in this game. He's trying his best to get his team back on track here. This senior he understands this is a conference game, understands there needs to be a change of pace and a change of mojo.
Yeah, what a nice play from Mounier. Had 2 assists last game versus Christopher Newport, and now today grabbing himself 2 more points, a goal and assist. Keeping the game alive right now for the Redhawks. See the replay there. Let's take one more look. On the right side, winds up and aims for that bottom left corner, arguably the only spot that
Mary
the goalie
Washington
couldn't get to.
Looked to strike quickly. Excuse me for cutting you off. And that one was deflected off Halls again. Eagles will continue on with the possession.
Working fastly and aggressive on every play. That shot clock is not going under 50, 40 seconds. Every time out, they're looking to make quick moves and get a shot off as fast as they can.
Here comes Adams. He passed the back, shot coming. And it's going to be off the stick again. Eagles with another chance with it. Coming around the outside. Passed in front. A juke. A stutter step. A shot taken, deflected. It was Frost looking for his 4th, but that time right off the body of Halls. The check being played, ball loose. The defensive line looks to flip it back, but a whistle would be called. I think the defenders got a little too far up the field, and now Montclair with an attack.
On that last defensive play, Aiden Maxwell did his job, didn't let the Eagles attacker get in front of that net to maybe put up another shot. That's what you got to do on defense. You got to be strong, relentless, and very brave.
Cody Cooper passing it back. Looking to bring this game just a little bit closer. Shot coming, that one did not threaten the goal. It was number 34, Luis Azara, taking the shot. Crank on the inbound. Goes around the outside, faces pressure on the check. Cuts inside. Finds a man behind the net. The relay back in front. The dish over towards Cody Cooper. Now Cooper drives in himself. He has 2 defenders on him. Spinning in, nearly loses the ball. Doesn't get a shot off. Flat coming out. And we'll flip possession.
How did he still have that ball after all that contact? And you're going to see a timeout here for the Redhawks. I mean, down by 6 goals. It doesn't feel like they're down by as much as the score says right now. They're really showing some positive signs.
They've really been able to make that big jump and rebounding themselves into a better spot. I mean, only 1 goal allowed so far. Now, there's still 2:43 left, but they've found an offensive groove a little bit. They've been able to work it just with Mary Washington. They've been playing evenly this period, this quarter. I think what it's really going to come down to is how can you rebound from that first quarter. And that's what I guarantee we will be looking at into the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, they've gotten the plays they've needed defensively to kind of stop the bleeding just a little bit, but still the issue is finding opportunities. And in my opinion, from my observation, I think a lot of the issues are coming in the midfield. They're not able to get those loose balls. They're not able to keep possession. They're getting the ball stripped out of their own lacrosse nets. And ultimately, Mary Washington, every time they win in the midfield, they generate offense on the other side.
I agree with you 100%. They get down so fast versus the Redhawks losing the midfield, and they're already on their heels playing defense really early.
And we've seen the production has continued in this period, or in this quarter for the Eagles, but the defense has been able to stop it. They still have 13 shots this period, 9 shots on goal, but Montclair has been able to stop it in the back end. Halls has really been able to lock in and load in back there.
Galbraith will go into the box for Mary Washington. Redhawks up a man. It's possibly a good chance for them to capitalize. They have a minute to work with. Just trying to find options on the outside. Mounier. The relay. Inside. Underhand shot deflected. Wyatt Martin got a piece of it. I think it was Verona who had a look on it. Back into play. Here's Verona again. Dish. Outside. Another pass. Towards the net. Shot taken. And it is deflected. But a flag coming right inside the crease. And that one is going to be counted as a goal for MSU.
That was Sebastian Graziano. What a play from him. Took contact, still put the goal away. And if you watched our pregame show, what a guy to be around. Him and his brother, teammates on this Red Hawk team, and scored in a big moment now for Graziano. Goal number 7 on the season. Had 1 versus Christopher Newport on Saturday, and just finds ways to keep the team alive.
Absolutely incredible. And this is, again, working towards that. They're moving in the right direction. They're putting pieces on top. They're building it up.
Take a look at the replay one more time. Nice backdoor pass. And Graziano, quick catch and shoot.
Yeah, it was hard to see if it even went in the first place, but it just snuck its way in there to get the goal. Montclair with just a little bit of momentum with 2 minutes left to play here in the half. Ball still loose at midfield, this time picked up by Montclair State. A pass inside. Graziano had to stick on it temporarily before it rolled out.
Nearly able to grab another goal back-to-back if he was able to get a hold of that one. Very exciting. Seems like the tide's starting to turn again just a little bit, kind of like how it did at the end of the first quarter for Montclair State.
Ball in play. Eagles back towards even strength. A shot coming. It went in the net, but I want to believe that the whistle blew the play dead before the ball went in. A timeout called perhaps at the most opportune of times.
Yeah, well, we saw, I mean, Halls was way out of goal. He needed to go back and defend the goal as well as he could. But you're making a move. You're not able to focus on what's going on. You think you just have to get to the position. A little bit of a confusing play there, but the timeout luckily takes it away. The referees look like they're gonna join up and talk a little bit about this one.
Yeah, not many times in lacrosse do you see the goalie that far out. It reminds me almost a little bit of like a soccer play where the goalie just gets tracked up so far. I don't think he expected a counterattack so fast, which even in lacrosse is something you got to be ready for. But yeah, luckily I think the timeout was called just before to wave off that goal. But now around a minute and a half roughly for the Redhawks to try to get some more positive momentum going into the halftime break.
Yeah, if they're able to have that advantage by the time we go into the locker room, you can definitely consider that a win for the second quarter.
And you can see right now, rain is coming down. I don't know if you guys can see down at the field. Our sideline reporter, Tim Glassel's even got his umbrella up. Just trying to, yep, he's nodding at me.
He came prepared.
He does come prepared. He knew what was going to happen today. But now it's really coming down. A bunch of umbrellas looking at us.
Absolutely. It is pouring now under the lights. Minute 30 left to work with for Mary Washington. Ball loose. Montclair trying to dive on it. Still loose. Hall scoops it up. Gets his stick on it. Minute 15 remaining. Perhaps one last solid attack left in the MSU offense. Pass towards midfield. Ball still loose. Mary Washington fighting for it. Montclair wants the whistle in their advantage. Plays blown dead. We'll see which way it goes. I think Montclair will have it with a minute left.
This game's starting to open up a lot more as we see the weather continue to get a little worse here at Sprague Field. A lot of attack, and it feels like just the game is more open. A lot of counters, and now we'll see what the Redhawks could do.
Charging in, under a minute left. Contact being met. Shot taken. That one downstairs from the outside is no good. Deflected again. 36 seconds left. Mary Washington has it going towards the other end. Pass inside from long range. Shot taken and saved. 30 seconds left. Big check on the body of Meunier. He's able to keep possession as Burge charges in. Flag coming. Montclair plays advantage. Under 20 seconds left. The relay is outside and will get a whistle with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, they had a free play right there, and you can see the coaches on the side. They are trying to get something to connect here. Just putting one piece on another, trying to find an area where they can get an open look. If you get one more, I think you're in a really solid spot going into the half.
Absolutely, but these teams will have to move quickly here with just 10 seconds left in the half. So it's not a lot of time to work with, despite Montclair State going a man up for the closing stages of the quarter. It's going to be Zeno going in to the box. Meunier is going to start off the proceedings. He's going to have to move on quick. 5 seconds left. Can Montclair take one last shot? They're playing at the outside. The horn blows, and as the skies are opening up, the University of Mary Washington really opening things up. They have a very solid lead on the day. It is 8-3.
I'll tell you what, though, if you're just joining us, Mary Washington had a very, very strong start to the game, and it was really not what the Redhawks had planned. However, they did bounce back. They did not give up. They were able to steal 3 back from Mary Washington. You got to come out in the second half hungrier than you were in the first. They showed a lot of fight, especially at the end of the first quarter into the second, but a lot of work has to be done.
Both of these teams head into the locker room looking to get dry, and it is well-earned. Lots of hard work in play for both of these teams.
And we are going to look at some highlights here from that first half, as it was completely dominant. Let's look at this. This first one, this is Ryan Adams with the first goal of the day. That was the 1-0 lead that we saw. A dominant one from him. After that, Ballingarbeth, nobody around him. Easy shot for him. This next one, Keller Dillman. He takes this one from way out, the slinging shot. Then Montclair got on the board just a little bit. Juliana Varno takes it from deep, about 13 feet out, makes it a 6-1 game on that shot. Then we go to quarter number 2. That's Ethan Meunier with his goal, bringing Montclair back to where they were. And then this last one, Sebastian Graziano makes a nice play and just tips it in there. That was all we saw from the first half. some exciting goals to get started. And then, of course, we're looking now at the matchup history. Now, Montclair's never been down this far to Mary Washington at the half. 8-3 right now. They're down by 5. You're looking at these recent matchups. Now, they won here at Sprague Field 2 years ago, 15-3, but they've never been down this far. They're 1-1 in the conference against them, 2-0 at home. They average around 11 goals. They're going to need to make a big jump in this second half if they want to get there. Now, really quickly, we're going to go down. All right. Well, they are making some big moves, and I don't think that I think that Montclair is going to have a bigger second half. They're going into the locker room right now. Luke, you mentioned it earlier. Coach Pasque is an MVP of the Lacrosse League back in 2010. He knows what he's doing. He knows how he's going to mix it up. He's in the locker room right now with his team. It's his 7th season. He knows what it's like to be down, all right? And he knows how it's like to come back in these big games. It's a conference game. It's as big as it gets right now. In that locker room, he's got to be able to really talk to them, make it work a little bit better, and figure things out. I think that's what's going to happen, and big changes coming in this second half, hopefully. Third period incoming. As for Mary Washington, they've been dominating all around. So if you're going to see anything, they've been constant. And that's consistency is key. Now, Montclair was able to slow them down a little bit in that second half, or in the second quarter. But on the stat sheet, they were still dominating. We saw in the second period alone, 14 shots, 10 shots on goal. Now, they only had 1 goal, so you can tell that the defense is getting better for Montclair. Montclair had 2 goals on 5 shots on goal, but they're pushing. They're pushing, and if you constantly see that push, it's going to be a little bit different of a play. Now, I believe we are ready to go down to the field. There's still, we're going to go down to Tim in a little bit, but as for Mary Washington, they've been dominating. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but they've been working perfectly, and they're putting a lot of pressure on. And I will say, and you can tell in the stat sheet, the defense did get a lot better for Montclair in that second quarter. But it's still dominating, and they need to find ways to get on offense. I mean, what we saw 2 times that it was a turnover because they couldn't get across midfield.
Yes, that's correct.
You got to find a way to limit those as much as you can.
Yeah, a couple small mistakes, things like that, where just not crossing midfield in time, it's almost inexcusable. But I will say the Redhawks have been able to eliminate certain mistakes as much as they could. They stopped leaving people open on defense, and a couple big plays. I mentioned it. Patrick Bork. How about the performance from these 2 goalies? I mean, just outstanding. Vincent, you talked about it. Martin and Halls, just 2 elite performances right now. In total, 18 saves between the 2 goalies. And regardless of the amount of goals let up today right now, which is 11 so far, they've been elite in my book.
I really want to see how the defense transitions in this second half. What changes are they going to make? And you want to know, not even as much the defense. The offense needs to make a big change because now the defense is there. The defense is working. Halls is in a groove right now. Keep working with that. They're doing a great job with that. The offense needs to find a way to get past Mary Washington's defense because the offense has been incredible, but the defense has been spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, the offense for Montclair State, they found success from outside of the 12-meter fan. They've gone 2 long-distance shot. One was just right up and in there. So they can score from multiple different angles, but really it's about getting shots off in general. I think that's what Montclair State has to do. They have to find the open look, the open man, and get the shot off. That's the most important thing. They have to put pressure on Wyatt Martin because right now he's sitting pretty comfortably in net.
Yeah, I think moving the ball as fast as they could has been very effective. Go back to that Sebastian Graziano goal. It was a quick give-and-go pass, backdoor, and you know how quick he put that into net. He didn't waste any time. Caught it and immediately put it in. Has to be quick plays like that because the Eagles don't give Montclair a lot of time on offense. The more you wait, you see them. They go for hits. They play physical. And I'm not saying the Redhawks don't reciprocate that, but on offense, it has to be quicker ball movement. For me, that's where the success has been so far.
I mean, we were talking about quick offense there. Mary Washington's off. I feel like every time out, there was a couple occasions where, you know, there's an exception to every rule. But 40 or 30 seconds into the shot clock, every time you see Mary Washington pulling up a shot. It doesn't matter if they're 13 feet out, if they're a foot away from the goal, or if they're 30 feet out. They're really being able to find lanes. Now, they're taking the lanes to their advantage. I feel like I've seen some times where Montclair has had a lane. They haven't taken the shot fully, but they've seen some lanes. Very, very few, though. Very few. You got, I think, passing it around a little bit more, trying to find that open look. Now, they've been stopped on passes constantly. Making an accurate pass with defense with that much pressure, it's hard. It's hard, but this is what you train for. This is what it comes down to. If you want to make a big run in the calc, you got to be able to find opening ways any way you can, even small openings. You got to thread the needle with these plays. You got to be able to make the tough shots, because right now you're down by 5. I would have liked to be a little bit more in a 4-goal deficit than a 5-goal deficit going into the half. But sometimes life gives you lemons, and you got to make lemonade.
And for me, I mean, you guys know I'm a soccer guy, but the sport applies same here. The Eagles were so clinical at the beginning of the game. Shots they had, they put nearly every single one away, and that's given them this 5-goal cushion going into the second half. The Redhawks haven't been able to do it as well. However, as of late, their shots have been pretty accurate, and a couple of good saves by Martin, but they're almost, 5 goals in lacrosse is not too bad to be down the way you started. They were down 6 or 7-0 to begin in an absolute record speed. They couldn't stop the offense, but now I got to give it to guys like Verona, Quintero, Patrick Bork, Ryan Harper, shout out Bridgewater, New Jersey. Those guys in the back have been absolutely amazing, and taking the stress off of goalies like Halls, you got to find ways to persevere. And right now, in big moments, they've been able to do that.
And a big thing to look at right now, the wind is changing like crazy. Look at that. I mean, we just saw Tim's umbrella. He needed to put it down because that thing's blowing like it's a hurricane out here. We're in the middle of New Jersey, bud. You don't got to worry about that. All of these umbrellas are going to go. I would not be surprised if we see umbrella go flying.
Well, to be fair, we're on the campus of Montclair State University. Should we really be surprised if there's a wind tunnel, a vortex coming onto the field? I am definitely not. So I guess you're surprised. I'm not surprised. Luke, I don't think he's surprised either.
Not at all. It's funny. It's funny because people are like, "Oh, it's 65 degrees on campus. It must be warm out." Not really. The wind blows and it feels like 50 again. So, yeah, it's a lot of weather factors today between the on and off rain, and I'm watching the flagpole right now. You're right. The flag just keeps changing directions.
And, definitely weather, you can't count it out. Obviously, lacrosse is one of those sports that's just played in all different kinds of weather conditions, but you have to imagine that the weather is playing a little bit of a factor, could make you a little bit uncomfortable, could throw you off if you're thinking about that rain and cold. But right now, both teams handling it pretty well. When it started raining down in the second quarter, we haven't really seen that much of a change in momentum on either side. It's been pretty consistent lacrosse throughout all kinds of weather conditions.
Yeah, it has. No team has really let off the gas. Actually, I think I don't know if it's the weather. I don't think it is, but both teams have just displayed a ton of energy so far. And this is my favorite type of lacrosse games. High action, really fast pace, and for me as a sports fan, I love the physicality aspect to it.
And I want to flip things over to Mary Washington real quick. They're up pretty decently here going into the start of the third quarter. What do they have to do to get momentum back on their side and kind of cruise on to a victory?
I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing. They're right there. They're putting up as much shots as they did that first quarter and the second quarter. Now they're not landing as much, but hey, when a goalie starts to find a groove, a goalie is going to, stop shots on a snapping of a dime. All right? If they just keep doing that, though, they will find success. They will be able to make through. Now, Martin, on the other hand, he doesn't have to first quarter was not as fast-paced for him. It was a little bit slower. So you can imagine, all right, you got to wipe the rust off a little bit. You got to find a groove. Coming out of halftime, more so in a groove than he was in that second quarter.
Both teams making their way back on the field. A fresh 15 minutes is back on the clock. So we get ready for third quarter action here in the CLC matchup between the University of Mary Washington Eagles and the Montclair State University Redhawks. Still a man up are the Redhawks. They have 21 seconds left in this opportunity. They want to make good immediately on special teams. Jack Cleary is going to get the ball rolling for MSU. We now await the referee's whistle. Both teams are in place, and we are back underway at Sprague Field. Man up opportunities. The ball is lost immediately. Julian Verona couldn't get a stick, and I have to say, a valuable opportunity perhaps lost by Montclair State.
Very short pass from Max Morosoff, and not how you want to start the second half.
And now Mary Washington will just bleed down the penalty kill. Back to even strength for the Eagles. This is going to be Zeno working his way back onto the field. Still on the attack are the Eagles. Stone passed it outside, charging in another Eagle. Pass behind. Now working it around the arc before driving it in. Stone already had his impact on the game today, looking for more. He passes it behind the net. Cutting inside is another Eagle. Ball's knocked loose. Nice play.
Great defensive effort there. Able to recognize that he got a little bit praised. Patrick Bork, the veteran presence there, able to make a nice defensive block.
Huge. He's come up big so many times today, and yet again another moment to keep the score as is.
Here's John Crank. You haven't seen that much of him so far today. Pass back outside. Shot taken. Saved with the net.
That was great. William Burge all the way from midfield, sprinting and timing his run perfectly. Just couldn't get it past the goalie, Martin.
Mary Washington looks to respond. Ball was loose. Knocked away by Quintero. Ball being fought over. Picked up now by Cody Cooper. Cooper relays it up.
2 plays here, and it looks like Montclair is reading the Mary Washington's offense like a book right now.
Clary drives in, takes it himself, went downstairs. This time it was deflected. It was Wyatt Martin using the legs on that occasion. Now the Eagles looking to get it outside their own zone. They send it up and will make their way across half field.
I would argue right now Montclair are the better team so far in half number 2. This is kind of how I anticipated it to go at the start of the game. I was very surprised by the lead that Mary Washington took. But right now the Redhawks are proving that they can go toe-to-toe with these guys, but now it's just about getting back into the game, being down by 5 goals.
Dylan Frost is going to toss it to an open player on the outside. Sent behind the net. Mary Washington looking to build on positive momentum that they had throughout the first half. Still outside the arc. Looking for options. A lazy pass is dropped and picked up by Montclair State. Great job by Quintero, scooping that one up. Big check at midfield. Quintero loses it. Flag coming out. And that's going to be another man-up situation coming for the Montclair State Redhawks.
And it looks like that one is on Tanner Boone there. Just might have clipped him with the stick a little too much.
Take a look at the replay here from Corbin Quintero. Have to give him a ton of credit as well. He did not give up. He played through the whistle, and you see the stick contact to the top of the helmet.
Yeah.
A little slow motion there. Easy call for the referees. You cannot. Men's lacrosse players are allowed to hit each other, however, not in the head. That is off limits.
As you mentioned, Tanner Boone is going to be going into the box. Montclair goes a man up again. We haven't seen too much in the way of an advantage for the Hawks offensively when they're in this kind of situation, but they look to change that narrative on this next possession. Mounier, outside Cleary, worked inside the arc. Still inside, looking for opportunities. 30 seconds left on the man up. Mounier, outside to Cleary, passes it inside, looking for options. That one swatted away and finally picked up. Great job by Keller Dillman as the ball was still loose. He finally corrals it and will take it across midfield.
Yeah, a dangerous pass there, but Dillman able to make a nice, easy move to take it away.
Another great penalty kill for the Eagles as that whittles down. Boone is going to make his way back on the field. We're back to even strength.
Going back to that last play, it was intended for Graziano. If they did get that ball past Dillman, he would probably be looking at another goal. But those are the risks you take as a defender. You try to bite early and intercept, and that time Dillman made the right call.
Dillman still holds the ball now as he charges in front of the net. Relays it back, the dish inside, looking for an opportunity. Shot coming from close. That one's deflected. No time for a break as another shot's uncorked. It was Rhodes who took it. Mary Washington will still be on the attack.
Take a look at the replay here one more time. And I think it was Bork that got the stick in there once again. And right now for the Eagles, they are really working with the clock. They've ticked off over a minute so far here on this possession only.
Shot upstairs, off the stick of Halls, picked up by Montclair. Now they charge, looking to move quickly. Inside. Caught up inside before the ball was knocked loose. It was Meyer who was looking to go coast to coast perhaps before the play was broken up. Rhodes again passed it out. As it's going to be Moog holding it. Passed out. And as you said, Mary Washington doing a great job just bleeding down the time. Clock has been absolutely rolling all quarter. Cut inside Adams. So it's passed outside. 30 seconds to establish another goal. Shot taken. A daring attempt by Dylan Frost again. That time did not threaten. Ball knocked loose. Big check. Penalty coming.
So now a free play pretty much for the Eagles.
Eagles looking to play advantage here. This time with Boone. Now the ball's being wrestled over, picked up by Montclair State. Now stop the action before the penalty comes out. Action stopped, line change being made as Ryan Kenny comes on for the Red Hawks.
And Nick Halls, I mean, we keep talking, Nicole Halls has really been able to penetrate everything so far. 13 saves on the day for him. He's constantly making moves back there.
Meyer's going to go into the box. Mary Washington going a man up.
He's probably going to have a season high in saves. His season high so far was in the opener with 16 saves.
And still his team not able to muster up the necessary offense to secure the win. They're working deliberately with it, trying to find any open options. Things not breaking down yet defensively for the Red Hawks. Shot taken. He uncorked one right into the net of Halls. Now back onto the penalty kill. They have possession. We'll see how aggressive they are. This time tripped up. Montclair will maintain possession with LaMarca. Ball loose, taken away by the Eagles. The relay up the field. Good attacking situation. Cannot connect on the pass.
It was Carter Lynch who looked like he was shooting before he had full possession of it.
Yeah, Lynch was focusing a little bit more on the net before he fully secured the ball there, and that could have been a dangerous sight for any team to withhold.
On that last play, too much offense there from Logan Lamarca. He could have just dropped it back to Patrick Bork. He decided to try to get out of it on his own and slipped up just a little bit. Take a look at the replay one more time from that shot. And yet another save for Halls.
Still an 8-3 game here on the campus of Montclair State University. CLC season well underway as the ball was knocked loose. Picked up by the Red Hawks, now a lob resembling a football pass up to Burge. Burge has possession, facing a stick check. He takes it behind the net. He waits for the Cavalry to come in for the Red Hawks. Pass in front of the net. Whistle coming, and the play's blown dead. Time out called, perhaps, by one of these teams. Finally, a break in the action. Pretty solid opening stint here for both teams with just under 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. What have you guys been noticing? What trends have been really apparent so far in the proceedings?
Yeah, we've seen great defense from both of these teams. They've been phenomenal in this period, in this quarter alone. It's great for Mary Washington. Kind of stinks for Montclair that they haven't been able to find an area yet.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. I think it is the Red Hawk defense that has been the changing factor. I just want to see if they can unlock that offensive badge a little bit. Get forward, grab another goal or two before the end of the fourth quarter. The defense has totally leveled out, though. I agree with you. A lot of work left to be done, however.
And I
apologize, Ryan. I really think that Montclair just, if they could just get back to where they were last quarter, they were in such a good spot. It looked like things were turning around for them, but the defense has really been on point in this quarter alone. If they're going to make a big move, it's got to be now. You can't go into the fourth quarter down 8-3 or more.
I like the adjustments that were being made in the midfield for Montclair State, because that, I believe, is where a lot of the trouble was coming early on. We now exit the huddle and come back onto the field. Montclair State with an attacking opportunity. They'll start from behind the net. It's going to be Morisoff who kicks things off. Morisoff faked the pass, took it himself. A bouncer is deflected. That was a weak shot picked up by the goalkeeper. He's going to leave friendly waters before passing it back. Risky opportunity here for Mary Washington. They do a good job getting it past midfield. Now great defense being played at midfield before the ball was knocked loose. Mounier had a stick on it, but unfortunately for him, it was knocked away before we get a whistle, and a player seems to be down for the Eagles.
Yeah, a lot of contact behind the play, and you're going to see him kind of hobble off the field. Nathan Turney, who's had a good game so far, but a lot of physicality. I think Cody Cooper was in on that play on defense, had a big hit on him.
Just like that, the umbrellas are coming back up here in the crowd. Fans came prepared, of course, for these treacherous weather conditions. We're nice and dry up here in the booth, fortunately for ourselves. But right now, the crowd supporting their team.
Myself and Vincent had our fair share of rain already in the fall.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Rain in the fall.
Mounier cross. Here comes a shot and a goal from John Crank. Montclair State gets it to an 8-4 game. The rain opened up, and John Crank opened up a goal.
Right what they needed, right as soon as the rain started. And we'll take a look at it one more time. You see the pass from Mounier, and then Crank, easy back post cut. Nice pass as well. they have a lot of time to work with, too, here in the third quarter. That was what they needed to really feel like they still have a chance in this one.
Crank does a really good job there of finding the opening, and then that's what it took. Sometimes all you need is a little timeout. Talk things over. Now the rain is really coming down.
Yeah. I guess Mother Nature wasn't a big fan of that goal.
Maybe it's Mother Nature showing her appreciation. Either way, we're back underway to action. A little bit of life being showed by the Red Hawks with under 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Passed outside to Mounier. And it's now Verona working. Verona charges inside, steps back, finds options. He's going to go to Mounier instead, passes it outside. Cooper drives in, try to get something off. Contact made in the defensive backfield. And Mary Washington will win the possession off the foul.
So last-second poke there from Balin Galbraith. Any later than that, it probably would have been another Red Hawk goal. They are so close to getting back into this one. If they can grab one more before the third quarter ends, you got to feel really confident that they have a good shot.
Ridge on the attack, lobbed behind them. As it's going to be Moog who just holds it as fresh legs come on for both teams. Back into play. Here's Boone with the man on him, cuts inside. Passes back. Mary Washington with an opportunity. They charge in, met with a Montclair check.
Great defense there. That was a good stop for Montclair. That's not something we saw earlier in this game.
Shot taken. And that one will not go into the net. But Mary Washington still has 18 to work with. Eagles moving quickly. They need options. Shot taken. This time they connect. Mary Washington gets in there. And this time Reese Stone back on the score sheet.
Just another great, his third goal of the day, or I apologize, second goal of the day. 2 points for him. He's only had 2 shots on goal. They've been able to do really good. Really good with those long shots. Once again, answering the call. And there's the umbrellas. There they are, this sea of umbrellas. Everywhere to be found.
They go away, and then they come back out. And on that goal, right down the middle, what a nice shot. And a well-needed response for the Eagles, because it felt like the momentum was really going in the Red Hawk favor. But now maybe a sigh of relief from the Eagles after scoring that goal.
Now they'll win the face-off. They'll have another chance to score a goal. Fowler with Stevenson on him. Spins inside, still holding it. Passed back outside. It's Mary Washington who's just seemed to be connecting on all fronts, offense, defensively, and in the midfield. They are up 5 with 3:30 left in the third. Passed back. Coming in now for Mary Washington. For options inside. Passed back. Shot taken. Downstairs. Deflected by Halls.
Oh, that one looked like it went off Halls' hands. He did not look like that was a comfortable shot.
Got to do what you got to do to keep it out. That was a really nice save.
Back in play with Mary Washington. Circling the net. It's going to be played back. Jennifer Jones has a chance to reset things for the Eagles. Bounce pass outside for Moog. And that play wasn't able to connect. It's going to roll out of play. Still on the attack. Long possession being taken. Shot taken, and a goal for Mary Washington. Jackson Rhodes was able to strike this time.
Double digits on the board now. Goal number 10. And all the panic maybe from Mary Washington went away. That was a really nice goal. Bottom right corner, away from Halls. He can't save absolutely everything. That has to be better from the defense.
There's got to be something. It looks like the minute that Montclair got that goal from John Crank, University of Mary Washington said, all right, we got to turn it back up a little bit. That first quarter isn't going to last forever.
Redhawks will win the face-off. Now they look to respond down 6, under 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
It almost feels like all the work that the Redhawks have done in the past 12 minutes of game time have just kind of went away or canceled out.
And it was 2 unanswered there for the Eagles. Crank plays it back. Zara forces it outside. Behind the goal. Now inside.
On the head.
No quarter being given by the Mary Washington defense. A spin move coming from Zara. He's being absolutely smothered right now by a Mary Washington defender. Thankfully for him, able to get rid of him. Pass inside, ball lost, stick broken. Mary Washington gets a freebie.
Another good stop there. A minute 30 left.
Ridge, as the ball's outside. Another attack being set up for the Eagles. Line change being made for both teams. Here comes a shot, and this time it's a goal. I think it was a 5-holer for Bryce Ridge. The defender coming up to make the play, switched over to midfield for this game, able to make the shot.
Wow. And everybody's getting into the scoring now. Bryce Mitch, it's his first goal on the season. He's had 2 shots on goal, never had one to his name. And here it is, number 1 on the season. Gotta look if it's number 1 on the career.
Luke, to get your first shot off, that goes in the back of the net. That has to be a really satisfying feeling as we look at the replay.
Yeah, 1 for 1 on the day. Got to take all you could get, and it goes back to what I said before about being clinical. The best teams in, I'll say, goal sports could be able to finish when they get a chance, and to be 1 for 1 on the day for Bryce Ridge, you got to be pretty happy.
Passed outside, Montclair looking to respond. Under a minute to go here in the third. Passed outside.
4th career goal for Bryce Ridge. Collegiate goal.
Charging in, a check going down. Flag comes out. Montclair will play advantage. Clary, 35 seconds left. No different shot clock to game clock. Charging in. He stepped outside. Clary walking towards the net. Behind the net, not able to connect with his teammate Max Morisoff. 15 seconds left. Redhawks will have perhaps the last say in this quarter, but they have to move quickly with only 15 seconds left.
Down by 7. Still have 15 minutes left after this.
Yeah, they need some type of they need a score on this last play to have a little bit of confidence going into the fourth.
Ball in, under 10 to go. Outside Mounier. Passed in. Running out of time. And the Redhawks won't get a shot off to end the third. And the score will remain 11-4 in favor of the visiting Mary Washington Eagles. What a kind of back end of the period it was for them.
Listen, they were able to turn it on. It looks like right when John Crank got that goal, they just lit it up from there. They had an astounding 3 goals, all coming right after John Crank. Nothing before that. It looked like it was going to be a good quarter for Montclair, and they really did flip the script towards that back end, probably towards those last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it did not go as planned. I thought they did really well leading up to it, but at the end of the third, they just kind of lost everything that they've been working for. But here in the fourth, you got 15 minutes. Give it your best shot. Try to do what you did at the end of the first and at the end of the second. Whatever you could do to try to get back into it here. You got to take some risks, gamble a little bit more as well.
Absolutely. Montclair State is going to be, for sure, looking to gamble a little bit here. You start to take a little more of a risky kind of attitude when you're down by as much as you are. So it does give you the freedom offensively to try new things.
Yeah, we saw the back, the shot from behind the back earlier. But we'll have to see.
Absolutely. As both teams are going to make their way back on the field. We flip the fields as Mary Washington will be attacking the other side of the net. Well, fresh 15 minutes on the clock.
Final 15 here. All comes down to this.
Absolutely. Crazier things have happened here in Montclair State Athletics. They'll have the first say as they're looking to get on the board. Passed outside. Behind the net, trying to play it ahead. Picked up again. Here's Graziano, who was able to relay it all the way over, eventually making its way over towards Verona. He took a bouncer, and a goal is scored for Montclair State. And it is, of course, Julian Verona getting back on the score sheet within the first 30 seconds of the fourth. Positive momentum for the Red Hawks.
Well, that's a great start. Let's take a look at the play, and nice snipe there to make it 14 on the year for Verona. He's not done just yet. The grad midfielder adds his 3rd point of the day right away, wasting no time in the fourth. They needed it badly.
And that's what you got to do. You got to be aggressive and you got to be quick. You need both of those things to get something in the back of the net here.
Back at midfield, and it's back to an 11-5 game. Again, Mary Washington winning the faceoff. As the whistle is called, and we're going to get a timeout on the field. As both teams make their way over to the respective huddles.
This is a good stop here for Montclair. Got to try to figure out how to just keep the ball rolling. Try to do what you just did with that Verona goal.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a quick break because Tim Glassstill's down with the Marisol family. Tim, what's going on down there, bud?
Hello, we're here in the bleachers. I'm here with Max Morisoff's father. How does it feel to watch Max in a game like this? Is a multicam game. It's a big production. It's a little windy, but how does it feel?
It's great. It's great. I love seeing it. We'll come to the game, watch everything live. Excuse me. Then we'll go home and rewatch it again when it has all the coverage like this. It's exciting.
So Max transferred in from Cabrini after the lacrosse program closed. The Montclair State program almost closed as well. How does it feel that it's still alive, still here, and he can still enjoy the lacrosse here?
Oh, that's great. It's great news. He was really upset. He was going to look into transfer again, so that would have been the 3rd time for him to try and find a lacrosse program. So he's really excited, and it's kind of a weight off of everybody.
It's been a big year for Max. What has been the biggest development for him in his lacrosse college career?
I think just growing with the game. He was at Cabrini for 2 years, different style lacrosse. Came to Montclair and is really settling in nicely and really enjoying it.
Last question for you. You have a lot of family here. How does it feel to enjoy the games like this? The weather's not particularly nice, but you get to see your son play lacrosse. How does that feel?
It's great. It's great. Just love being out here. Love the game of lacrosse. Love watching my son play and love watching his team play.
Thanks for your time, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tim, for that interview there. As Mary Washington's back on the attack. They ripped open a shot as it was Ryan Adams who went upstairs. For Max Morisoff, we haven't really seen much of him in terms of offense, but his contributions cannot be understated for the Red Hawks so far this season.
Now, and for Tim down there, I hope he gives Mr. Morisoff his cupcake that he couldn't eat earlier in the pregame.
Oh, my goodness.
Sounds like a proud father as well. I mean, top on the team in goals, and the family is out supporting despite the rain and the difficult weather conditions. Didn't know that. It would have been his third transfer out if the program did not stay. But, of course, now he will remain a Red Hawk, as his father said.
I'm very happy to have him here as a Red Hawk. I mean, he's been a huge corner piece to the team. He has 30 goals this season, over 30 goals.
You lost a player like Ryan Verbuchen. It's nice to have a guy like Morisoff who can keep that high stats for this team and a lot of goal contributions.
Big trip at midfield. No harm, no foul. We play on. Ball's knocked loose and picked up by Mounier. Works his way up the field, met by a pack of Eagles. I should say a swarm. Clary, as MSU's on the attack, they're looking for their sixth goal. Inside. A check meets him. Shot taken anyway. This time deflected by Martin. Ball's loose. They had to leap for it. Both teams still fighting for it. And now Mary Washington is going to have their stick on it.
I don't know about you guys, but that was maybe the best, most entertaining minute and a half that we saw today. Azara continued to just take a ton of contact, and he kept battling.
Spin move outside. Loose ball, and a big check on the outside coming from Michael Bonner. Wow, what a shot there on the outside.
You saw that one coming from far away.
Oh, my goodness.
Clean hit.
A clean hit as well for number 8.
Despite it being a 6-goal game, I've really enjoyed the last few minutes. This game has been high energy and just straight entertainment.
Absolutely. It's been a great game to announce as both teams fight to better their position in the Coastal Lacrosse Conference. Played ahead. A stutter step. Stick lost on the swipe. Whistle's going to blow this one dead, but a turnover will secure possession for Montclair State.
Nice hit there. Corbin Quintero very consistent with the defensive clean hits.
James Milligan working it up for the Eagles. They pass it over towards the outside. Milligan again just holds it, waits for options, passed over towards Boone. Boone looking to make a name for himself, spinning in front of the net. This time tripped up, flag coming out. A clear foul coming against Montclair State University. This time Patrick Bork is going to be tagged with it.
A lot of different stoppages right now. Montclair, a little bit dangerous of a play there, but they're working back into their favor. 10 minutes left. You got to be able to make something happen here. This is what it comes down to. Montclair has been down the entire game. They're slowly working back up. I feel like we've seen stints where they're really back at what they're supposed to be, but it's almost fading sometimes.
And now Mary Washington goes a man up. They'll have plenty of time to work with as the ball is saved. And now Halls looks to just find options here. They're still on the penalty kill, so no surprise they're trying to whittle down that advantage. Played towards the middle, loose ball. Swiped and picked up by Christian Fleming. Passed outside. Mary Washington back on the attack. Lobbed over to Frost. What a day he's had. Play towards the center. Back in front, rips open a shot. That one's wide left. And they'll continue on with their attack. On the last shot, it was Boone who had a look at it. He'll take Mary Washington back out. Boone holds it behind the net, faces pressure, passes it outside. Charge coming in for Mode. Passed out to Vodopek. Vodopek passes it. Stutter step back outside. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Charging in outside. Takes a rip. Ball still loose. No possession gained. Flag coming out, and we'll have another penalty. This time it's going to be Montclair pressing the advantage. Picked up by Clearly. He has an advantage. Passes it outside. Shot taken. Crank can't connect.
Had a good look there, but just couldn't answer the call just quite. It was clearly, it looked like he was aiming towards that bottom right corner.
But the penalty comes out once more. We just saw the penalty against Montclair State. Now we see a penalty for Mary Washington. We've definitely got plenty of those kind of opportunities. It's just been one of those days in terms of fouls.
That was a good look from Crank at the top of the crease. That was one that, knowing his level of play, he's going to want that one back. But you can't hit them all.
Vodopek is going to take a seat for a minute as we're back underway. Can Montclair capitalize on this man-up situation? That is the question. Still plenty of work to do. Shot taken from in front, and a goal for Montclair State. Cody Cooper finds the back of the net.
And that is just a great pass there. Moving towards your right and then passing back right in front of the goal. Great play on that one. Here's the replay right here. Finds the open look in front of the goal. Nice slick pass. Goalie doesn't have enough time to turn around and make a play on that one.
Cody Cooper's got through 3 Eagles defenders. And again, it's about a little bit of everything. First of all, finding the gap to run to, and then timing the run. He did all of it. And an easy goal to add goal number 6 on the board.
Still plenty of time left to go in this game with 8:11 left. But certainly cannot look to allow another goal. Go down by 6. And just like that, the rain is back out.
Every time the Red Hawks score, immediately the rain comes.
That's really interesting because you're right about that. The rain does come out every single time the Red Hawks score. And this time Montclair not able to get it over in time. Shot coming off the crossbar. Was it in? And I believe it was. Mary Washington with another goal. Montclair caught flat-footed.
I think that one hit the bottom bar of the back part of the goal. So it hit in and then bounced out.
I'm just confused on that play because they tried to make a defensive sub as soon as they were already down by the goal. You saw Ryan Harper, number 44, get subbed in. The Eagles were already at the 25-yard line, and he was sprinting in from the 50. Let's take another look at this goal, though. Like I said, they were making a defensive substitution. There wasn't enough players back there. I think that was a big mistake.
Great angle on a replay. It showed that indeed it was a goal, as immediately coming out of the faceoff was another shot taken by Keller Dillman. Vodopek passes it back. Mary Washington looking to get active, passing it behind the net. Relayed back in front, spin move, shot taken, nearly another goal, as this time it was Colgan had a look.
Down by 6 with 7 minutes and 10 seconds to play. You're going to have to start to get really aggressive here on offense and take gambles.
Back in front, a great save made by Halls as he's able to prevent the 13th goal from going in. This time, trouble for the Montclair defense. Nearly nobody home as Mary Washington scoops it up. And just like that, they have another chance on offense.
Not a responsible pass there. Just threw it into blank territory. And the Sea of Blue takes it away.
It was Jackson who got the loose ball. Mary Washington back on the attack with Sterling Cooper. Cooper faces pressure. It's back. As Mary Washington continues to play. Played in front, loud behind. Mary Washington looking for options. Ball swept away. This time a shot taken, and it goes out of play.
Well done there from Quintero and Stevenson to cut off the angle. And that caused Mary Washington to miss the target.
Still 30 seconds left on the shot clock for the Eagles. Lobbed back towards midfield. This time was a shot. That one nearly went in, and it was off the body of Halls.
That one looks like it hit him right in the chest. Again, didn't look comfortable after that one.
Absolutely, but that's what a good goalie does. He just lays it all on the line. MSU charges across midfield. Mounier back on the attack. A flag is out at midfield. Montclair playing the advantage. Passed outside. The juke, the stutter step for Jack Cleary. Passed outside. Shot coming right off the stick of Wyatt Martin. Crank picks it back up. Has a look, leaps, and misses. This time another whistle comes as the play is blown dead.
A little under 5 minutes left here. And Montclair is still attacking. That's what you want to see. They are continuing to try to make as much as they can down low and crashing the goal.
As we await a penalty, it comes up against the Eagles. It's going to be Tucker Bradley. He's going to have a quick, only 30-second penalty, so he'll catch a breath. Montclair goes a man up just for a little bit. Back into play. Outside, passed in. Looking right, rolls it in. Shot coming! And it is a goal for Montclair State University.
Almost a copy of the previous goal, which was also scored by Cody Cooper. It was an amazing pass, backdoor. Jack Cleary ran around the goal, grabbed the attention of a couple Eagles defenders. And then what did Cody Cooper do? He timed his run, got to the space, and put it away. Let's take another look. Cleary to the right, and then same exact play. I mean, you can't even script it any better than that. It looked like an identical highlight to the one we saw just a few minutes ago. Amazing job by Cody Cooper. There's a reason why he's number 2 in goals this year for the team.
They're continuing to make up ground right now, and there's still a lot of time. Down by 5, I'm still comfortable.
19 goals on the season.
MSU looking to make things interesting. Is back to a 5-goal game with just over 4 minutes left. Mary Washington on the attack.
I think what's going to happen here for the Redhawks is you're going to look back and say, why didn't we start this game a lot stronger? You let up 6 goals right away, and it just put them in a bad spot for the remainder.
Meanwhile, it was Milligan who thought about taking the shot, instead passed it off to his offense. Underhand shot, and that one is wide right. Jackson Rhodes was looking for one. Mary Washington continues on. Back outside, James Milligan. Over now to Stone. Stone behind the net. Using the big stick to break up the play. Mary Washington's stick is loose. Montclair takes advantage. They say thank you very much, but the ball is still loose. Still being warded over as another stick goes loose. No whistle blown, but Jack Cleary has a good opportunity on the other end of the field. He's going to take it himself. Looks behind the net. Morisoff passes it back. Mounier. Just going to reset.
Got to do what you do. You got to do what you got to do to advance that ball. We saw a little bit of everything there. Soccer kick, hockey slap. Whatever it takes.
Back behind. Over towards Maxwell. Maxwell steps back. Found a teammate. Passed inside. An opportunity, a shot, and a save. A very impressive one for Wyatt Martin.
Now his 10th save on the day. And also, while we were talking, Nicola Hall's season high in saves. He's got 19 right now. Beats the opener against Widener. Where he had 16 saves.
So a solid milestone for him, but ultimately one of the reasons why that came was because he had so many shots coming against him. 2 minutes to go here in this CLC clash at Sprague Field. Mary Washington looking to collect their second conference win in a row. Montclair perhaps about to drop their second in a row.
But for Montclair, I mean, they have a week. Their next game is a week away. That's a lot of time and a lot of areas where you can improve on.
Mary Washington looking to put the cherry on top with one final goal perhaps. Spin move, looking inside, the juke, the stutter, the step, the goal. Dylan Frost, have a day.
The cherry on top for the Eagles. Dylan Frost has been outstanding. Goal number 13 to push that lead up by 6. Let's take a look at the replay one more time. Frost spins by a defender, and then as Bork approaches him, he puts it in. It's going to be 5 wins in a row for the Eagles. They've done a great job today.
What a performance for Mary Washington as they look to go 2-0 in conference play after a rainy outing here on the campus of Montclair State.
51 shots on goal, or 32 shots on goal today for Mary Washington. They've been accurate. They've been precise. That's 32 out of 51. Way over 50% there.
1 minute to go here in the fourth and final quarter. Gentlemen, anything that Montclair State should take away this game as they gear up to play Stockton in an in-state rivalry?
Well, the one thing that you really can take away is besides that first quarter, they were on it. You take away those 6 goals, Montclair's winning. Now, of course, you need to be able to start off on a good note. All right, you can't let them get into a groove and still be able to find yourself. If they're in a groove, you have to be in a groove, and that's as much timing due to games. I mean, you had a week break. You had to travel back from Virginia. I guarantee lost a couple days of practice due to that. But going up against a Stockton team next time that got heavily beat by Mary Washington in a 23-8 loss. Listen, this is a place where you can find yourself, where you can work yourself back into the motion. And as for Mary Washington, I mean, they showed that the old saying, consistency is key, is true. They were constant every period. The only period where the first half, they had 21 shots on goal. 21 shots on goal. 8 goals. I mean, able to just constantly keep on battling, keep moving forward. And that's how you play. Consistency's key. Going into the next game for them, they're in a very, very comfortable spot going up against Salisbury. They'll have to travel back home to Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I guarantee that they'll like to be home.
Yeah, that matchup is absolutely no joke against a national championship contender in Salisbury. That team, the absolute kings of the Coastal Lacrosse Conference. Just under 40 seconds left to play here at Sprague. They're just holding it, lobbing it in towards the other side with 20 seconds left. Mary Washington just looking to park the bus in the closing minutes of this clash. Charging up the field, 10 seconds remaining. A late flag will be advantage played by Mary Washington. And the EAGLES Eagles come up I-95 and collect a conference win against Montclair State University. A decisive 13-7 victory for the Birds.
Yeah, it was all Birds in this one. The Eagles really took it how it came. They started off on a groove, they ended with a groove, and everything in between, it was rocking and rolling for them.
Yeah, it was an amazing performance. They were able to stack up a ton of goals, and at one point I thought Montclair had a chance to come back. They were only down by 4, but we go back to how slow they started. Letting up 6 goals right in the beginning of the game, it put them in a hole for the remainder. A lot of positives came out of this game, though. Hall showed why he's elite. The defense showed flashes of positive play, and the offense did pretty well. Again, it's just on defense, they let up too many goals. You're talking about 28 goals being allowed in the last 2 games for Montclair State. That's something that they got to clean up.
Montclair State drops to 8-4. Mary Washington advances to 8-4. Both of these teams now with the same record. And that's going to do it for us here in the booth for game number 1. We're going to send it back downstairs to CJ Staniak and Thomas Gaffney Jr. They have the postgame.
Thank you so much, Ryan, Luke, and Vincent. An amazing call by you guys. And Marion Washington beat Montclair State University 13-7. Now, kind of going back into that game, 6 goals in the first half for Marion Washington. How does that? How can you even come back from that throughout the game?
Well, listen. If you want to come on the road and you want to make a statement right away, you bury your opponent in the first quarter, and that's exactly what we saw from Mary Washington. They come into the game and right away up 7-0 in the blink of an eye, pretty much, Thomas. I mean, it was just out of nowhere, and for Montclair State, they let it avalanche. They're losing faceoffs, turning over the ball, and really it just got away from them. I thought they did a really nice job the rest of the game, fighting from behind, trying to garner any momentum that they could to try to get back into the game, really. Just it ended up being too much for them to overcome in the beginning of the game. So slow start really plagued the Redhawks today.
And we're going to toss it to Tim Glassell over there on the sideline. Tim, take it away.
We are here with Sabrina Halsey, the mother of goaltender Nikolai Halsey. He had a good game in goal today, 19 saves. Obviously not the result you wanted in this score, but how does it feel watching him play in a game like this?
It's great to watch him. This community is like a big family. I mean, he was originally at Limestone and he transferred up here, and I'm so glad we get to keep the program because he's really found his home here.
You mentioned the program being kept. That was a big discussion. How does it feel that it's back?
It's great. We don't have to transfer schools now.
The weather wasn't too great today, but a big broadcast, and so far a good season for Montclair State. Like we said, not the result you wanted if you're in net, but how does it feel watching him as a mother?
I think my position's harder than his position. Goalie moms take every goal to heart.
Over the years, What has been the biggest development in his lacrosse game overall?
He's gone from just learning goal all the way up to MVP of his team in high school and first team All-Stars.
So obviously a big part of college is his lacrosse career, but also through school. What is it like for him being a Montclair State student?
He loves it. He's actually a finance major, loves all of his classes and his instructors, and he's pretty passionate about it.
Overall, how do you feel about the rest of the trajectory of the season? Obviously not the way you wanted it to go here, but overall a very good season for Montclair State so far. What do you expect from the rest of the season?
I'm hoping we win a few more.
You're frequently at these games. What is it like being at Sprague? Obviously it's a pretty nice stadium. What is it like being a fan here?
Oh, it's great. The music and the commentary when you guys are doing it. We have a 2-hour commute, so on the way home we rewatch all the games that you guys do.
We always appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, Sabrina. I'm going to send it back to CJ and Thomas in the studio.
Thank you so much, Tim. But let's take a look at some of the highlights of the game. The first quarter, Montclair State down 2-0. Restone cuts to a defense with an underhand shot.
And a minute later, Dave Vodopek buries it. Long-range bouncer to the top corner. 5-0, Mary Washington.
And then the first winding down, Montclair State is yet to score until a goal from Julia Verano buries it from between the hashes.
Good for Montclair State to finally get on the board. Nicole Halsey's had to make a ton of saves throughout the day, facing a Mary Washington onslaught. Halsey, 9 saves in the second quarter. Fantastic work from him. Very talented goalie, showed it off today.
And then towards the end of the second, Montclair State down 8-1. Montclair gives them their second goal. Montclair State man-up opportunity.
And Montclair State, well, trying to build off of some of what they had. Jack Cleary finding Sebastian Graziano, making it 8-3 in the third.
And now in the third quarter, John Crank shoots it and scores, makes it 8-4 in the fourth. They have a man-up chance, down 11-5. Then Cooper buries it to make it 11-6 game in the fourth quarter.
And at the end, Cooper having a day. How about a last-minute goal? I mean, you lose the game 13-7, but you end on a high note today. So Montclair State, they continue to try to fight their way through the game. And as you said, Thomas, I mean, just really hard work from them throughout the rest of the day. It just wasn't the first quarter that they hoped for, and ended up costing them.
Yeah, and you were saying that they actually played really, really well in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. They tried to get back in the game. Unfortunately, it's just way too far ahead of them. But looking down into the season, you see them playing very, very hard. They're still 0-2 in the NJAC, but you still have 3 more games left. Maybe they can try to make a push, and you still have a chance of making the playoffs.
Well, we kind of saw this last game with Christopher Newport as well. Coach Pasquet said he liked the way that they finished that game, just kind of got in a little bit too deep of a hole, and they weren't able to get out of it. They would have liked to keep some of that momentum and take some of the positives from the remainder of that game and move on with it. Unable to do so once again today. These slow starts continue to hurt them. If they want to have a shot to make the CLC tournament, rather, they are going to need to have quicker starts, and they're going to need to continue to make plays and play like they did the second through the fourth. The physicality was there, the defense was there, the goaltending. The offense came alive at some point, but it just wasn't really there from the start, and that's what's going to hurt them ultimately.
And now for Montclair State in the CLC, they're going and play Stockton in their next matchup to try to get some winning ways in the CLC conference, but hopefully they can continue and get some wins so they can try to make the tournament. My name's Thomas Gaffney Jr., CJ Standing. Any other closing remarks before we head off?
Well, listen, I mean, I'm excited for the rest of the day that we had. Obviously, a pretty entertaining game, I would say. We saw a lot of physicality. The weather makes it an interesting element. Overall, just a pretty interesting first game. I'm excited to see what happens with the next.
We got the next game coming up, Montclair State Women's Lacrosse versus TCNJ Lions, coming up at 2 o'clock, so stay tuned if you guys want. But we will be right back here on the Red House Sports Network.